And we are live, guys. It is Saturday night and it is the Indie Games podcast. I am super excited. We have some awesome guests joining us on this particular episode of the Indie Games podcast. Thank you so much, everyone who has come by already for this episode of indie goodness. As we always say, gotta get that indie goodness into your lives. But thank you so much, everyone who's joined us so far. I'm very excited for this episode. This is, as I said last time, we are now doing twice a month for the Indie Games podcast, and we're back on the first Saturday of the month with this show. As you probably know because I've said it many times, it is the first and third Saturday of the month for your dose of indie goodness through the Indie Games podcast. So thank you so much for joining us for that today. So I'm very excited. As I say, we have got one. Oh no, I was just about to say we've got one guy missing, and he is Mr. Smooth sliding in right at the last second. Cheeky little one there. Well, that's fantastic. We've got the whole crew now, guys, so we'll just carry on as normal. So I want to jump straight into some intros because we have got some great people lined up for this show who are going to bring absolute awesome passion and no doubt indie knowledge too, and I'm excited for that. So let's jump in to our first guest. I will have to go to him first because he's a bit of a legend in the community. He's got a channel and a website which does amazing content. Everyone looks up to this guy. He is amazingly talented, amazingly passionate, amazingly intelligent about gaming. But also what I love about him too is he's so grounded. He doesn't let that go to his head at all. And that is gets massive respect from me having that combination. He's known as the Gaming Ninja. And it is awesome to have him on the show today. I'd like to welcome Lord Cognito. How are you doing, my friend?
Brother, thank you so much for the intro. Very humbling, brother. That was cool. Because it always feels good to be respected by your peers, and to hear you say that meant a lot, brother. So salute to you, number one. Great panel. Great show. I know me and you've been talking schedule-wise and trying to get this done for a while. So I'm glad I've finally been able to cooperate.
Absolutely.
That's the time to do it. But one thing I want to say before you introduce everybody else is I really appreciate the movement. As you know, as much as I love my big AAAs and the bangers that everyone says, indie games, I come from that. And we got a lot to talk about, but I love that you're kind of like the poster child for that, and you championing it. So salute to you, brother. This is an honor to be invited. And again, thank you so much for the kind words.
Oh, well, that is incredibly kind of you to say. And I do absolutely love my indie games. And it means the world to hear that someone like yourself is behind that. Indie games are wonderful. And the place they come from is, something that is truly something that should be supported. But at the end of the day, when you've got so many games out there, it's hard sometimes. But I always think indie games bring some freshness to the industry, some risk taking, which is awesome to see. But having you on the show today, my friend, I know we've talked a lot about indie games as well. I know you're a big supporter of them, so having you on, as well as your being such an esteemed guest, it is absolutely fantastic to have you, my friend. Thank you for coming on.
Much love, brother.
Great stuff. And moving on from there, next up we have got another awesome guest. This guy is actually someone who joined us on the very first trial episode of the Indie Games podcast, which is pretty damn cool, as we were testing the water back then. I believe that was last summer, and now we have continued down the road, and it is absolutely an honor to have him back on. I know this guy through finding his channel first, actually. He does focus on the indie games too, which is absolutely fantastic. Since he joined us on the Indie Games podcast last summer, he's also gone on to be a panel member on Midweek Gaming with our guys Stubbs and the other guys, which is fantastic. And he's going from strength to strength, and his channel is growing beautifully. And I highly recommend checking out his channel too. Hit him up with a sub if you like indie games, which I imagine you do if you're here. But I just want to say massive thank you to Removal Sanity for coming back on the show today. How are you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing exceptionally well, and really, it's a thank you for allowing me back on. I mean, it was an honour to be the very first be one of the very first people on your show, and really, it's more you who's been championing everything else. Seeing you grow, you're now at 1,000 subs, probably more now, I suspect.
Craziness.
So, congratulations on that. It is fantastic to see you growing yourself. Me, again, I'm just like you. I'm passionate about indie games, and I'm hoping that I can do anything just to kind of promote them in any format, any way. I'm lucky enough to speak to some of the developers, lucky enough to review some of their games. But of course, I always look up to the fantastic panel guests in front of me right here as my peers, and I'm always just surprised to be invited back on anywhere.
Don't be, brother. I like your modesty. Keep the modesty, but at the same time, remember how good you are at the same time. But yeah, it's definitely no. It's fantastic to have you on because, there's some good topics for us to dive into today. And I know you'll probably have some great takes on them. But yeah, you are a big supporter of the indie games world, and that kind of person is always welcome on this show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and not to mention that, by the way, guys, you're a good friend as well. So thank you for being that too, my friend.
Yes, thank you.
But yes,
he puts up with me. I don't know why.
Brilliant stuff. Moving on from there, guys, we have got a third guest on this show because actually I just want to quickly mention we haven't got Coop on today. You may well have noticed, which is very sad because we do love a bit of Coop action on this show.
Yeah. I like Coop.
He's the cool dude, isn't he? He always makes me look really square.
Ran out of battery.
Yes, indeed. It's always sad not to see Coop on the show because I do love him dearly. He knows that. He gets a little bit weirded out by it a little bit. But Coop's a legend. And I just want to say send our best wishes to you, bro, because you're not feeling too well. You're a little under the weather. I do believe it's a little COVID related. So I'm sending my very best wishes your way. And I'm sure everyone else on this show and chat will do too, my friend. Hope you get well soon. And it'd be great to hang with you again on a future show, brother. Yeah, but sending the best wishes your way, Coop. Moving on to the next and final special guest, because we've got 3 instead of 2 because Coop's on a little timeout. And the third guest we've got on this show is another returning guest and someone who I felt brought absolute fire to the episode he joined us on. So many awesome takes and really great insights, I thought, and a mega passion for indie games as well. Always great chats with him. Someone who is on the VGP Vitamin Gaming podcast with FC Violent. That is a great podcast to check out. They love their indies over there too, so definitely check them out on a Monday night. Great crew. But yeah, Jubei Sensei is a part of that, and he's joining us again, and it means the world to have him back on. How is it going, my friend? If you're there.
Jubei's muted. Jubei's muted.
Hey, what's up?
There he is. That's it. You guys vitamins now.
Yeah, beautiful.
What's up, Jubei?
How's it going, bro?
Wild. Nah, man. I've been good. Well, our show's on hiatus for until March, I believe, something like that. So yeah, be
so good, man.
off the air for a little bit, but it's nice to be here as always. I really enjoyed my first time around, so.
Good stuff.
Getting to talk indie shop with you guys is going to be the wave today.
Nice.
Certainly is, my friend. Yeah, no, like I said, you were awesome last time, and yeah, it was great having you on. Always enjoy our chats as well. Lots of DMs and stuff like that. A little shout out quickly, if you don't mind. I did hear a little sneak preview of Jubei's music, which is another side to him. Absolutely blew me away. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning it, but he's a damn good musician as well as a gaming fan. So hope you don't mind me mentioning that, bro. But I just wanted to let the people know the talents this man has.
Yeah, no, not at all. You are totally good. When we officially drop that track on streaming services and stuff, I'll have links and stuff to share.
Awesome.
Kind of an email thing. If you want to hit me up in Discord, your email, I'll shoot it to you if you want to.
I need that.
But,
yeah, honestly, guys, blew me away. Actually, it's really, really good. You should definitely check that out. I'm sure Jubei will be letting everyone know once he's happy. I think he's 95% happy, he said, and that shows the perfectionism in his approach to his music. So it's fantastic because I thought it was perfect anyway, but that's the level he's he's striving for, which is awesome. Looking forward to that, bro. But yeah, thanks again for coming on on this show for Talk Some Indie Games, because yeah, it's great having people like you with the knowledge and passion that, you know, really pushes the indie games scene into hopefully people's line of sight, and then maybe they check it out a bit more, or if they're not already. But yeah, thanks again for coming on. And finally, last but not least, of course, is my main man, Fastback. He is a regular on the show, a man at my side, pushing forward the indie games passion and knowledge once again. He's a great friend of mine. We had some good gaming time last Saturday, actually, playing some Deep Rock Galactic. That was pretty damn cool. Yeah. But yeah, always an honor to be able to do this show with you, Fastback. How are you doing, brother?
Doing good. I'm glad to be back after it's been a long vacation, right? I can't remember the last time, you know. Yeah. I guess we kind of took January off, me and Coop, so
yeah.
I appreciate you giving us the time off.
That's still good. Work. 30 days holiday, yeah.
But it's great. Game has been good, and got a 3-day weekend here, so.
Nice, bro.
I'm looking forward to talking indie games and playing some.
That is wicked. Awesome, brother. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Yeah, well, I think happened with the January situation, because as we're doing the first and third Saturday of the month now, the one where we're doing two different setups. And we're doing Coop, myself, and Fastback on the first Saturday of the month as the core of the show, and we're doing Puxley and myself on the third Saturday of the month. So I think what happened was it was quite close to that sort of Christmas break, wasn't it, where it fell? So. Yeah. Little cheeky break, come back fresh, and all that good stuff. But yeah, excuse me. I've just realised.
Real quick, it's awesome to have a Lord Cognito on here for the first time. You know, we've known each other. I've been on LP, he's been on NOG, so it's great
Salute to
being here with Mr. Lord Cognito, and also have Jubei Sensei on back again.
Yeah,
and Removable Sanity.
Definitely.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
Great crew. Definitely, my friend. Well said. So yeah, I've just realised I've totally overlooked something already. I'm doing really well today. I've missed a getting a little taste of your what you've been playing. I think we'll do a quick whip round if you don't mind, guys. I just thought I'd jump back to Lord Cognito and see what he's been playing. I actually saw a little tweet. I might be in the know about this already.
Yeah, I've been dabbling, man. I mean, I want to shout out my man, what you call it, Stephen Danton. He's actually one of the developers of Unto the End.
Yes.
And we've had him on ILP before. Amazing story. Husband and wife duo, pretty much were doing extremely well. I mean, they really didn't even need to get into gaming. These guys were comfortable.
Yeah.
And they moved their entire life from Canada to California for his pursuit of his dream. And Unto the End was a game I tracked for a long time. It kind of went away for a bit, and I thought they kind of canceled it, and then it came back, and they just told me, I'd reached out to the dev. He said, look, no, we just had a new publisher, but thank you for, finding out. So just to see his story, it's in Game Pass now. They're doing so well. So what's funny is when I interviewed him, I assumed, because I'm a fan of like, Out of This World, things of that nature, those kind of, inside where kind of atmospheric storytelling.
Yep.
It does have that.
It's different.
But I told him, I was like, you fooled me. This is like 2D Dark Souls.
It's intense.
Like, it's intense. It's boss battles. It's very unforgiving. The game, forces you to learn its mechanics. Otherwise, you are not going to survive. So I've been playing that. The other two games, indie-wise,
just quickly before you move on, if you don't mind, have you beaten it yet, sir? Have you?
No.
Oh, dear.
That's why I sent him a tweet.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't embarrass the guests. I just wanted to say, that I have beaten it, so there is that.
Flex it. Listen, man, salute to you.
That's so good.
I'm fighting all the optional battles. And I didn't know they were optional. So I was under the impression that I must do everything
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And some encounters you can win with peace.
Yes, you can. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but that's another thing. But
that is the thing, because it's definitely not obvious, is it? And it's like basically, I think their core focus was survival, wasn't it? Basically, I think that's what their emphasis was. But yeah, it's a phenomenal game. Sorry for the the out of line.
No, you're good. But I'm impressed.
It's a great game, and I think they wanted it to feel like an arduous journey, if you see what I mean. So I think they've achieved that. Yeah, awesome, Absolutely. Bro. So sorry, what else were you saying you've been playing?
The last two have been there's a game called it's on Game Pass now. It's called Yes, Your Grace.
Oh, nice. Yep, I know the one.
The game is absolutely hilarious. You're a king. It's like a kingdom simulator, and pretty much your subjects that come to you daily. The kingdom has different demands. There's no way you can appease everyone. And then there's like resources. There's like, you have your your coin, how much money the bank has in the kingdom. You have as far as like food and resources, and then there's like public approval. So these 3 ratings you have to monitor all the time. And what happens is, besides the normal life of things, people wanting things, you don't have enough resources to do them. Then you have your family issues. The game is well written. Nice. It is amazing. So I would highly advise people to give it a shot. I got a couple of people addicted to it. So Yes, Your Grace is also a game. Check that out.
Nice.
And the last one is this game. This is an older game, but I'm just getting back to it because I love the first one and there's a sequel. The game is called This Is the Police.
Oh, I know. Yeah, nice. I've never tried that.
Yeah.
That game.
You can play it on a Switch.
Yeah, remember I used to play it on the Switch. I used to put the poster. You remember, right? So that game is so well written, and the craziness that goes on in society in this world with the police is hilarious. And they have a lot of real world issues and a lot of controversial issues, which they are not afraid to touch. The guy who is the main character, I believe, voiced Duke Nukem.
Oh, really?
Yes, they have amazing voice acting.
Nice,
great storytelling. So now this is the sequel from that. So I'm just getting back to that too. So those are the 3 I've been playing.
That is awesome. Great little trio there, my friend. Fantastic.
You forgot about that other indie game that you're always playing.
It's so many.
Destiny, sir.
Destiny.
Oh, yeah. Destiny's an indie.
You can shoehorn it in if you like. Shoehorn it into that category.
Beautiful. Destiny, yeah. You know how that is.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff.
Good catch, man.
Good stuff. That's fantastic, my friend. That sounds like a great little trio of games you've been checking out. Yeah, I know the Yes, Your Grace. That's perfect for a Iron Lords person to be playing that.
It speaks to me. I was like, what?
Absolutely. I love it. Good stuff. So, Removable, my friend. What have you been playing, buddy?
I've kind of been doing a bit of again, similar to a trio sort of thing. I found myself finally getting on to Watch Dogs after they've patched it a few times and had a few tantrums with that. But in terms of indie games, I just finished off the Medium.
Nice.
I absolutely love that. I love that game.
Great stuff.
I mean, I'm kind of biased because I like blooper games, and I think I've got all of them. So I think I've got Layers of Fear. I've got the I can't even think of Observer. I've got the both Layers of Fear. Actually, I think there's 2 if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And the third one is, oh my god, my brain is going.
Blair Witch.
That's gonna annoy the hell out of me. That was it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I've played every single one of them, and this for me is a bit of a weird one because they've gone away from their norm, which is hard for an indie developer to be. You sit with something that actually seems to work, but I think Blooper likes to push themselves. And what they did with the Medium, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It hit that nice element of nostalgia, freshness, and also third-person horror puzzler. So for me, it was brilliant. It was always it's just one of those things. I was worried, but after I played it, I was like, no, not worried at all. I'm looking forward to seeing what they come out next. And
you only have to look at your. I
County.
was just going to say, you only have to look at your avatar to know you might enjoy that game.
Possibly a bit of a hint there, isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry, I cut you off. And Donut County, my friend.
And Donut County, which was another unexpected one. It's a nice, quick one, but addictive. It is just simple mechanics, simple controls, but still. You find yourself just smiling, and enjoying it. And the little story behind it is also a little captivating as well, sort of thing. So those were the 3 at the moment. Nice.
Yeah, that's a cool little game, actually. It's very like a relaxing kind of feel to it, the Donut County. Yeah, it's a interesting mechanic, very simple as well. Great for people who, maybe want a simpler game in their life, if you know what I mean.
Well, it's also good for those with disabilities. It's great for accessibility, that game.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's superb for that. It is, and it's also got a lovely little storyline behind it. And I found myself giggling stupidly, as you know. So if you haven't seen it, it's also it can be if you really push hard, you can complete it very quickly. But I would take your time with it, enjoy it. It is a fantastic game. It's on Game Pass and it's on xCloud, so you can do it anywhere.
There we go. That's the pitch, my friend. No, good stuff. That's fantastic. I need to get to the Medium myself, actually. I sort of just, I don't know, sometimes when there's all hype around a game, I just feel like I just want to wait a little bit. I don't know, it's weird. I'm so invested in other games at the moment, really.
Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. But no,
if you're
fantastic.
Invested, you're thinking, I'm taking away from the one I'm playing to play something else. I really should finish this one first.
Yeah, there's also with the Steam Festival this week as well has taken over for me, which as I just love the Steam festivals myself.
You must have a wish list about at least 3/4 of that lot.
I've wished it a lot, actually. I need to go in again, really, and go for another sweep.
Which ones shall I not be playing? One.
Yeah, there's a ton in there for sure. It's
that's
crazy.
it so far.
The great thing is it's brought a lot to light, and we will get into that later because that will actually be a topic. But yeah, definitely is. Moving on from there, Jubei Sensei, my friend, have you been playing much this sort of last few weeks or month or so? Anything that's been stood out to you?
The biggest thing I've been playing would probably be the Medium.
Yeah, I saw you playing the Medium.
And I've been playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters lately.
Nice.
So.
Nice, good stuff, bro.
Me and some childhood friends are just getting back to being able to play co-op together because our lives are.
That's great.
To do that, so that's the game we decided on.
Nice. Good choice.
So a lot of afternoons playing like Budokai 2 and 3 in basements on little CRT TVs and shit.
You're taking it back to the essence. I like that. Okay.
That is awesome. You're ringing a Cog's bell there with the fighting games.
Oh, big time. Big time.
I used to be a huge fighting game fan, actually. I used to play a ton of them, but I've sort of drifted away from a little bit lately, to be honest. But yeah, they are definitely, my history, essentially. I used to enjoy a lot of fighting games for myself, too. So, yeah, anything else you've been playing, or is it just those two, really, my friend?
It's really been those two.
Nice.
I finished Astrobot on PlayStation, but
nice.
I just wanted the platinum, but yeah, it was fun learning more about the controller.
Very intuitive with the controller, yeah.
Nice, bro. Very nice. And how far are you into the Medium?
I'm in that first chase sequence. Like I spilled some stuff on myself when I was trying to stream that.
Love it. Beautiful stuff. That's great, bro. Fantastic. Okay. Fastback brother. I know you've been playing one game that you played with myself. Anything else you've been playing? I think I know a few of yours.
Of course, during the holidays, Cyberpunk was a big one. And I finished the main story on that, but there's so much more to do.
Yeah.
So as soon as I did that, I jumped on Call of the Sea, and I completed that. That's a great one. Good story. Beautiful world to explore. Some puzzles there.
Nice. So I need to get to that one. That is a beautiful looking game, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. And then I just beat Medium this morning.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah, that one. That's it means a lot if a game can get me to sit there and play during the week when I got to go in early the next day. If I stay up a little bit past my bedtime, the story's good. So I've been playing that all week, and I finally beat it this morning. And what's funny? It like Jubei was saying, he jumped a couple times, and there are a couple moments in that game where you do it. It's more creepiness. It's not very, very, very scary. But the only time I really jumped was when I was playing in the morning one morning, and my wife. I had my headset on, and that, of course, you're not gonna hear anything. She opens the door and she puts her hand on my shoulder, and it's like,
I love it.
In, and I just looked at her like, don't do that.
So that's
you see me with my headset playing a scary game. Don't do that. No.
Yeah,
that's kind of what happened to me with mine. Like I had my headset in and everything. I was getting the razor, and something like my dog or something touched me, and then like between that and then getting the razor there, like I was just like, oh shit.
Brilliant stuff.
Now, it's great to, it's like Cognito say, you love your AAA games, and then you got your indies in it, and it's just awesome to be, sit there and play, Cyberpunk one day, and then jump in on a couple of indies. Yeah. There's never a dull moment in gaming. There's always something there for us to play. So.
Absolutely. Nice. Yeah, the variety is a spice of life. Definitely, we got a lot of that these days, which is so great. Well said, buddy. Yeah, no, it's great to, be doing another show with you. It feels like quite a long time since we've done the last one. I think it was when we did the awards, the Indie Games Awards. That was fun. Yeah. But yeah, always a pleasure, my friend. It means a lot to be able to do this show with you. So thank you again for being part of it.
Yeah, I remember that's why I had to take a month off, because that show was about 7 hours.
I finished
and you missed some topics in the end as well, didn't you?
It's great. We didn't on the Indie Games Awards. I think it was a different one. We went a bit long. I'm working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, the Indie Games Awards that was a long one. We didn't miss any topics on that one, I don't think, though. But we got through it. Although we did sort of half miss the quiz, though. Actually, that might be what you were thinking.
Sorry, that's what I was thinking of. It was the quiz. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy times. But it was a fantastic, fun show to do, though. So. Thank you again, my friend. So yeah, we've already taken too long, because I should have done that in the first week round, so apologies about that, guys. Still, as you can see, this is only the 8th episode of the Indie Games Podcast. Still working on it for my own abilities to get things nice and smooth. So yeah, hopefully you can bear with us with that while we bring you the indie goodness to compensate. But yeah, thank you everyone who's here. I just want to shout out at all of you guys who are here, because it means absolutely so much to me to see you in the chat. So many great people that I see often and game with sometimes as well now, which is so cool. I just want to shout out Mike from NLG. Absolutely awesome guy who I'm in the Gamers United Guild with as well now, which is an honor to be in as well as such a great group of people. Shout out to Mike NLG, the original Next Level Gaming. And obviously we've got Telly Agonic in there. He is such a great supporter of this channel. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Always good to see you. The Dazinator, my good friend for a long time now, a great buddy of mine, who's dropping a stream earlier of Ridge Racer. Check that out. Stubbs Gaming, also a great guy. I will be on the Stubbs cast soon as well, nice. So that will be fun. I know Lord Cognito was on there quite recently. I think many of us have been. Definitely. Stubbs doing great work in his own way, which is a unique sort of approach I really enjoy. Excuse me. Dragon Wolf as well. Thank you so much for being a Dragon Wolf. Always a great supporter, my Boosh bro, who loves Mighty Boosh just like me. And Matt Burns, awesome to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming by. Infinite is in the house. Always a pleasure, my friend. Z Black Rider. I don't know why I call him Z Black Rider, because I'm not American, but everyone does. So it's Zeb Black Rider today, my friend. Love it. And the Video Games HD 3-bit in the house. Thank you for coming by, brother. Who else have we got? Einfac Chris Gaming. I haven't seen you before. Thank you so much for coming by, my friend. Meisuko, always a great supporter. Awesome to see you as always, my friend. And I hope you're enjoying Hollow Knight. VJ is also in the house. Have to give VJ a big shout out. He has gone on my he's taken the route of my Hollow Knight passion. As everyone knows, I love Hollow Knight so dearly. He has joined me on that venture. It's not just me, guys. There's a lot of people who adore that game, and I'm so pleased to hear that VJ is absolutely wrapped up in it right now. His adoration is almost reaching the heights that I have for it. So it's great to see you're enjoying Hollow Knight, VJ, bro. And it's good to see you today as well. The Living Flame is also in. 108 Dragons TV. Awesome to see you too, my friend. Pick on Fusion. And I think that's about everyone. And I think I saw a graphic got at the top there. But thank you everyone who's come by. Avish is in as well. Luke's still a great guy who loves his indie games. I hope you enjoyed the Hades documentary, Luke, because I watched that this week and it was so awesome. And Luke loves his Hades and he loves his indie games. And he was on the last show too, and he was absolutely awesome. And ZXJ Gaming is in the house. I haven't seen you for ages, my friend. It's great to see you in. Thank you for coming by. So yeah, we should get into this. I really do appreciate you all coming by there. Thank you so much. It means the world. We've got a lot of topics to get through, so we should get stuck into this juicy steak, as they may say. Apologies for the vegetarians. We have a vegetarian option for you too. But yes, we have got some good topics to get into, and we are going to be starting off with our titled topic, I guess you would say, which is about Playdead. Playdead are the guys who make Inside and Limbo. You probably well know if you're an indie fan. And we are going to dive into some of the, mostly speculation, but we have some new information on their new game that they are currently making, which is pretty exciting. Some small little nuggets, which is enough for us to talk about this awesome upcoming game from such an amazing, revolutionary studio. I'm going to slide on over and I've got some nice screenshots actually that have I don't know how many of you guys have seen these screenshots of their upcoming game, but these are all screenshots from Playdead's upcoming game. As I've said that 5 times, an upcoming game. But yep, I've got those on the screen now if you are watching the screen. These are all screenshots from the new Playdead game, which is actually going to be slightly different to... Yeah, it's a little bit different. I don't know how much, like I say, you guys know about the...
Sci-fi.
It is a sci-fi game, that is correct. I guess you could class Inside as a sci-fi game, though, with the mind control and all that stuff. I guess it could just about get into that. But yeah, like this is definitely more sci-fi, I would say, and it's also a 3D game as well. So it's built in, and another big thing is it's built in Unreal Engine, I believe, this time. So quite big changes. Another thing to note as well about Playdead is since Limbo and Inside released, after Inside, they did divide. The main sort of CEOs of Playdead decided to go their separate ways, essentially, or Dino Patti, as he's known, actually decided to move on because of creative differences, and he started his own studio. So actually there is another game being made by his new studio, which is called Jump Ship, and that is pretty cool. We won't go into that today because otherwise it would get a bit confusing to talk about both, but maybe some other time. But that's also quite far off at the moment. But yeah, that's looking really interesting too. He's synced up with a ex 3D artist who used to work in movies, so that's a pretty cool collaboration that he's moved into. So, but the existing guy is still obviously there. The guy that actually I think started the Playdead, which is, I think his name's Arndt Jensen, and he's still there working on the next Playdead game. So obviously it's still going to have its essence and its its core, which it had before, but like I say, it's going in a slightly different direction. But I feel tonally there's quite a lot of sort of similarity to the old games, but just in a new way. So just quickly before I pass this on over to you guys, just give you a feel. It's like I say, it's a third-person open world game. It's science fiction adventure. And it's built for multiple platforms on the Unreal Engine, and it's also going to be published by Epic, which is another move forward in a different way. They are doing Epic are actually doing these grants where they leave complete creative freedom in the hands of the developer. And they're sort of helping out on the publishing side of things. And I think how it works is they will recoup their profits until the game is paid off, essentially, or some sort of similarity like that, and then the developer will benefit from it from there on. I don't know the full ins and outs on that, but yeah, there is going to be, like I say, published by Epic. I feel, and I did read up on it a little bit. I won't go into full detail on it. I want to talk more about the game today, and what we feel it might be and what we hope it might be. But yeah, there is that element to it too, which is pretty cool. And the Epic side of things is actually pretty good. Some people might feel, oh, that's they're taking away the creative freedom from what they might have had, but actually they are leaving full 100% creative freedom with Playdead. So, and I'm pretty damn sure that they would not have gone down that route. Playdead are complete innovators, so they would not have gone down that route if they didn't have their full freedom to make the game they want to make, essentially. But yeah, like I say, we've got some screenshots up on the screen now. I think they look absolutely stunning. And yeah, maybe I just want to pass this one. I know we have got a guy on the panel today, and this is kind of one of the reasons I really wanted to do this topic today. And his name is Lord Cognito. And he is a big fan of Inside, the game. And because I was on a podcast with him, Archimedes podcast. Awesome. Shout out to Archimedes. Great guy. And one of your big picks was Inside. And I was really awesome. I'm really happy to hear you picking Inside, among these these other big, great games as one of your favorites of the generation, I believe. But yeah, so I thought this would be awesome to talk about then upcoming game and what you hope it might be, what you think it might be, sir. What do you reckon? What's your take on these screenshots and where you think they're going?
I mean, the screenshots are just, to me, vintage Playdead. And again, it just screams that atmospheric storytelling, you know, kind of sometimes dystopian, sometimes like just foreboding atmospheres. And like, to me, one thing about their environments, the environments themselves kind of tell a story for me. And you're very curious about the world. So for me, you know, what is it? I believe it's set in like some type of remote corner of the universe.
That's right, yes.
I thought it was interesting that it's going to be third person. You know, that's interesting.
That is a big change, isn't it? Big departure.
Big change. So to me, I look at like I kind of look at this as like, okay, they almost like Playdead with a budget and like really kind of see what else they could do. This is a big deal for them. So I'm super excited. As you already know, Inside is one. I love Limbo. But Inside is one of my favorite games of the gen. It's a game that I've actually presented it to non-gamers, and they've either watched me or they immediately gravitate towards taking the control. And hopefully, like I said, they keep that the essence, the purity of what they do. But even if they expand, I mean, I'm looking forward to see what Playdead has going. But this is exciting. Science fiction, open world, third person, Unreal Engine. You know, I'm pumped. I'm
nice.
Super pumped to see what they got cooking. Huge fan of those guys. And to me, they haven't really made a bad game yet. So I'm hoping the streak continues, because this, on the screenshots alone, I'm like, yo, what is going on in this world? I'm hyped. I want to see what's happening.
Nice, brother. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I actually played Inside. I replayed. I just want to clarify. Replayed. I played it again today to record some footage. Actually, I'm going to probably play a little bit of Inside in a minute. And it was just like weird because it's been so long. But it was also like, wow, this is better than I remember almost. Do you know what I mean? It's like, even though I thought it was like epic already, like when everyone keeps asking like what are your best games on Twitter lately, that always goes in there for me. So you know, your top 5 or your top 7, I made it, but cheating. But yeah, it's Inside is just a special game. It's kind of they do things their own way, don't they? Like it's very minimalist as well. They take away all the HUD elements, don't they? It's very artistically done, but it's the animations I was really noticing. Just how awesome they are, how much different animations there are for when you sort of run and jump and then you sort of stumble and all that sort of stuff. I thought that's really it's really interesting. I'll put up a bit of the gameplay in a minute to sort of remind you guys, because but yeah, it just feels so great. And but yeah, it'd be interesting that it is 3D and Unreal Engine, not Unity, sorry. So yeah, but that's great in a way, because like, you know, that's similar to sort of like what Image and Form games, they are going 3D now with the Gunk after being 2D for so many years, which is another cool thing. And the Gunk's looking amazing as well. But yeah, I think they're just amazing. Their artistic vision and the feeling of unease that you get from like Inside.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And the puzzles, the puzzles are gonna be crazy. Like that screen right now with this object. You could already tell the puzzle elements are going to still be there.
Yes.
Figuring things out, making sense of the world, and trying to progress. That's something that's like their calling card. They're known for that.
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah, I'm looking for it, brother. I'm looking for it.
Nice, my friend. That is fantastic. And I'm going to send this one over to Fastback next, if that's okay. So yeah, Fastback, I know you've played Inside and Limbo, and you've enjoyed them greatly. We've had many conversations about that.
Oh, yeah. Both.
Yeah, so what's your take on this upcoming game from Playdead, brother?
I'm excited. I mean, you know, the experience that we got from Limbo and Inside. And Inside, I don't know if did you Cog, did you do both endings?
Both endings, yes.
See, I did, and now I'm thinking maybe I should go back and try to do the second ending.
Do the second. I actually challenged. I think Stubbs in the chat. I challenged him. I was like, we can't talk anymore until he plays the game. And then after he played it, I said, you have to do the second inning. And without spoiling, it definitely offers up a very interesting philosophical debate on what's actually going on.
Yes.
And it's good to start. There's actually like videos of people really truly try to break it down. It's really cool.
That's an interesting point. Just before, sorry if you don't mind, I think that is it's kind of similar to the Hollow Knight thing. They don't spoon feed you the story. They present environmental storytelling, and then they make you think after as well, which I love about it. I think that's the ultimate way. But yeah, sorry, back to yourself.
To get Hollow Knight in the conversation.
Anyway, one day you will have all played it.
I would join the cult. Like I told VJ in chat, I'll join that cult one day. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's a cult for sure.
I'm super excited. I love open world games. But to have to bring that style, the art style, how they can tell a story with the environment, and you're interacting with how the outcome, or just trying to solve the puzzles. To be able to do that in a 3D open world, I don't think it'd be. I think it would still, you would still get that feeling the other Limbo and Inside did, because the magic that they work with the shadows and the lighting, and you got stuff going on in the background that kind of tells a story while you're playing the story. So and plus this being sci-fi, that's up my alley.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I can't wait to see more of this.
Yeah, because it looks like you've crash landed on one of the pictures, doesn't it? And your sort of spaceship's somewhere or something going on. It's pretty interesting for sure. Yeah, it definitely leaves you with the intrigue already. They do that very well, give you the intrigue.
Yeah.
But I think they are very careful to not reveal too much too early as well. I think that's part of their approach in general, I think.
And they announced this back in 2017, I believe, right? That's the first time.
I believe so, yeah.
So, been in the work for a little while.
Don't forget how long their games take, though, usually.
They take a while.
Yeah, but that's cool. I mean, it was 6 years from Inside, up to Inside, wasn't it? From
Limbo to Inside?
Yeah, sorry, you got middled up then.
Wow.
Yeah, so, but that's all good. I just wanted to make the best game possible. So if that was the case, though, it would be still quite a way to go, I guess. But you never know.
So,
you never know. They have grown their team size, so it might be a different story. You never know. But yeah, awesome, buddy. Fantastic takes. And let's move this one over to Jubei Sensei, bro. What's your take? Have you enjoyed the games in the past, Inside and Limbo? I do believe you have. I think we've talked about it before. But yeah, what's your take on this upcoming game, bro?
I absolutely loved Limbo. I have to still put Inside second to Limbo, just personally. But it's very close. It's like this is like 1A, 1B.
Interesting.
From them. Like I did enjoy both of those games there, and just when I saw the tweet, like, oh look, there's a new game coming from them. I was expecting another like 2D side scroller thing, and then you dive into the screens, and it's like, oh, we're actually getting to change the perspective for real now. So this is what happens when they have a bigger budget, because the atmosphere. I already know the atmosphere is going to be there. They're going to do crazy animation work, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
The environment. This is going to allow their environments to tell more of a story just from having a 3D perspective. So I'm super excited to see what they do with it, because these screens, they don't really tell us much about what's going on. Like you can kind of get an idea. Like looking at that, you can tell that that's a Playdead game.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Like I'm glad that they have a niche where you know exactly what they're bringing to the table, and you know exactly what to expect. Because I haven't had a bad experience from them. So, whatever this is, it's going to be amazing. I just need them to give us more, and hopefully a playable demo.
Yeah, I think they are deliberately. They're very carefully placing these, I bet. You know what I mean? That these screenshots are carefully analysed to know what they're giving away, essentially, and all that stuff. I think they're the masters of keeping things vague and not spoiling the surprise, essentially. But yeah, no, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, anything else you wanted to add on that, Jubei, my friend? Or I'm interested.
I do hope that they continue to be in the independent space.
Yep.
I'd like them to, obviously come into some money, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what your end goal should be, to make something of your art there. But like I just really hope they stick in the indie space, and if this game comes out and is bigger than Inside and Limbo, there that they still kind of stay who they are and continue that trend there.
Yeah,
they don't have like dialogue in their games and things like that. Like they tell a very very convincing yarn without without a lot of things that we come to expect. Like we don't even really get we don't get dialogue boxes, we don't get dialogue really at all. It's body language and atmosphere and music and overall mood. And just to be able to tell stories that you can actually enjoy from beginning to end there, that's damn impressive.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a great point. Like they, no dialogue, all environmental storytelling. It's a unique sort of approach, like MO or whatever you want to call it. I think they work in their own way. They don't take cues from anyone else. They created a genre almost, didn't they, with these games?
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, they are definitely at the cutting edge of the gaming innovation of in games in general, which is fantastic. That's why it's just so exciting to talk about them, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm thrilled that they are making more. And it's cool that we kind of get two from them, because like I said, Dino Patti, who is one of the lead guys, has gone his own way, and I'm sure we'll talk about his game Somerville, which is the name of his game, at some point too, but that's being very vague on that as well. And they like the environmental storytelling again, but it's going to be slightly different, that one. I think it's going to be a bit more colourful than that other game. But yeah, like I say, save that one for another day. Let's send this one over to my guy, Removable Sanity. I'm not 100% sure he's played. I think we're going to catch him out now.
No, I'm always honest. I have played Limbo and I really enjoyed it. Inside.
Oh, you played Limbo?
I
Nice.
actually have in my collection it, and I've seen enough reviews of it to know that I would enjoy it. And it's one of those things. It's like I've put it aside. I'm like, I'm going to play that day, and then it just never happens because something else has always happened. What I will say from playing Limbo, though, and I've seen enough reviews on this game Inside as well, is that what I found is, everyone here is pretty much kind of harped on, is the atmosphere is perfect.
Absolutely.
If anything, for me, I found it, and this is a bit of a weird one, it had almost like a Hitchcock vibe to it.
Yeah.
It really knows when to pull you in, when to pull you out, and also not to show enough and let your imagination do some of the work for you.
Yes.
And that's not even picking up half the storytelling to get these games tell without having to tell a story, if you know what I'm saying. It's a very much in my eyes, again, people may disagree with me, but I found it's very much a Hitchcock thing where they know how to tell a story and they know how to do it visually well.
Yes.
And so looking at the screenshots, these new screenshots, it looks like they've ramped themselves up to another level, and being open world as well. I mean, as you said, it looks like it's on another planet. So
yes, it does actually. Yeah.
One of the shots that got me the most for me was where we had the shot where they're climbing up a mountain and you see looks like a meteor coming down. That shot kind of encapsulates my enthusiasm for this next game, because it just is like, that's a perfect atmospheric shot where you can see he's obviously dragging something, they're obviously like trudging along, maybe surviving in some case, and you see obviously something shooting right down from the sky. That kind of tells me a little bit more of what it is. I'm intrigued, I'm interested in the game, and knowing their pedigree, I think it will do well. Obviously, as you said, we've got the best now because they've slightly split, so we're going to potentially get 2 games at the price of 1.
Yep.
But for me, I hope they take as long as possible, because we know it's worth it. We've seen the games they've done previously. We know the atmosphere. We know they're capable of storytelling. If anything, I hope, as previously panelists have said, I hope they just get a few more funds, and they still retain that creative freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first time I saw those shots, and I'm already like, I'm psyched for it.
Oh, nice. Good stuff. I'm presenting you Inside as well, as you haven't played it.
You know what I mean? I know. I've seen enough
I'm
of
only
it.
teasing.
I'm
only teasing.
I've actually watched sometimes. This is going to be even worse now. I actually sometimes watch games instead of playing them, because it's like, I'm absolutely shattered. It's like, do you know what? I'm going to play a game to watch it. And I have watched some games, and this is one of the games that I have watched about a good 5-6 minutes of it, and I was like, this looks really good. So that's why I said I got it. I've parked it aside. And
Definitely.
it's just getting I've got to get to
I think you should definitely.
It's one of those games.
Inside is like, yeah,
I love the scene that he's showing right now. I remember this scene.
Yes,
right
yeah, I love I love the dog parts, yeah, and there's clever bits, even with the chasing of the dog. Like later on, there's a bit where you have to hide underneath a little step.
They come from the and how they come from the background to the foreground in the game.
I love it.
And if you notice this little ticks like that, do you notice that the dog's almost caught up with him?
Yes.
Just it's that perfect alignment of like they know they're ramping up your atmosphere, ramping up the tension, and there's a bit of a release as he jumps into the water. And that's why I said it's very much same as Limbo. It was always first time I saw the spider, dear God, it was like boo. It was like they know how to visually draw you in, and it's great because, as you said, it's not as if it's like it's billions of different colors, billions of different graphics. They can draw you in with the most simplistic. I wouldn't say it's simplistic because it's not. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
But the style itself is so well. It can draw you in.
Minimalistic. There you go.
Yes, minimalistic is probably the better terminology of ways, and that just shows their craft. As you said, they know their craft, and so I'm intrigued, really intrigued. I said that one shot of the new game of where he's climbing the mountain, where he's dragging something behind him, and there's a meteor. It looks like something meteor crashing to the sky. It's like,
yeah.
I just know this is probably going to be, if not as good as Limbo, or probably beyond. And I said Inside's probably even better, but I can't really cry about that. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Don't feel bad. There's so many games out there, but I'm sure Lord Cognito will join me in saying I highly recommend getting on the Inside.
Yes. that is your homework assignment, sir.
Yep,
that's absolutely required.
It's also not that long at all, my friend, so you can knock it out.
It's one of those things I just need to try and get into it and get it done.
Yeah, you can sit out do it in one sitting.
Things. If it's not long, I want to try. I don't want to rush it. I want to take time with it because it's games. You just want to spend. It's just like I suspect Lord Cognito would love to play this again freshly for the first time.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things you want to sit back where there's no stress and really take it all in, and that's where you'll get the best thing out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the thing is I think they've intended it to be a kind of like the way Joe from Song of Iron's working. He's inspired by this game quite a lot, and he wants it to be that sort of short, concise and sort of rich experience, and I think that's what they intended it with this anyway. The length is great. It feels nice. You won't feel like you're rushing it, I don't think, even if you go through it. But there are collectibles to pick up for that 1000G if you want it, and I highly recommend delving into those. You could do 2 playthroughs potentially. Just do a natural playthrough and then go back for those little mini UFO things, whatever they are. But yeah, there's it's like Lord Cognito said a minute ago. He said there's so much that can be drawn of the story, and I really enjoy that about games. Like often if a game's really has compelled you and gripped you, then I always feel like I want to look it up after, and it sort of makes the game last beyond the actual playing of the game as well, which I really find interesting. And there's all kinds of forums and stuff. There's so many for Hollow Knight. Sorry, I mentioned it again, but that's a big one in that game. And games like Inside are just the same. So yeah, that's that kind of thing I do love a lot. And yeah, really good takes though, Irremovable, my friend. I really thought you brought some good stuff there, my friend. Especially seeing as you hadn't played it. You had played Limbo though, so you had a good basis. And yeah, what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to leave this I've only got about half an hour of gameplay playing on this, but I'm just going to leave it playing, and we will maybe move on to the next topic, unless there's anything else anyone wanted to say about the upcoming game from Playdead. I'd love to know in the chat as well, guys. Apologies if I'm being a bit sort of two-sided, not focusing on the chat. I'm definitely watching all of what you got to say. I'm just terrible at multitasking. I will learn. Really appreciate all of you guys being here. It's so great to see so many of you in. Honestly, it's overwhelmingly It makes me so happy, honestly, guys. Thank you so much to all of you. I'm going to shout out a few more of you guys because you've come in. Some new people have come in. It's awesome to see you. It's fantastic to see Caitlin in, partner of Fun Speculation Mav, who is also in, I believe. I think he came in after I shouted out last time. Awesome to see both of you guys. You're a great team, and you're part of that Gamers United Guild too, and it's an honor to be there with you. And that Mama Rocks is in the house too. That is awesome to see you. And she is part of the Four Guys with Quarters podcast. Fantastic stuff. Great to see you. 3-Bit, you're there. I think I said earlier. But yes, anyone else who's coming? Pong Soul is in the house. Always a great guy to have in the chat. Such a positive light and an awesome brand new podcasting talent who you wouldn't believe he's brand new because he sounds like he's been doing it for years. And you are awesome, my friend, and it's always great to see you. Michael Garvey is in. Thank you so much for coming by, my friend. It really means a lot. And yeah, Avish and Luke Still, and they're having some great conversations. Really awesome to see you having some awesome conversations, guys. Let me know if you're excited for Playdead's upcoming game. Let me know if you've played Inside or Limbo, what your thoughts are on it. What would you like to see from it? Where would you like them to go next with it? What do you think these images that I showed earlier are telling us about what the game will be? I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. Thanks again for hanging. It's awesome to see you all in. And we're going to move on, guys. So I'm going to try and keep my pacing a bit better. But it's, like I say, amazing to see 35 of you live watching with us right now. And that means everything. You are absolutely amazing. Let's go forward though, guys. We've got some great topics, and the next one we're going to move on to, I will leave that gameplay playing if you wanted to check that out still, and we're going to dive into some convention talk. So I believe all 5 of us, potentially at least 4 out of 5 of us, have been to a gaming convention. Personally, when I went to EGX back in 2019 it was, and then 2020 got cancelled. So yeah, I went to EGX for the first time in 2019. Absolutely blew my mind. I was in heaven, basically. Honestly, it felt like, why haven't I been doing this like every year? It was literally probably my best experience I'd had in so many years. Obviously, my wedding was number one, you know. Just say that because my wife. Wedding is a different. I'll put it in a different. That long, have you? 2016, actually. So yeah, but yeah. So obviously that's a different category. I will get a slap later if I don't say that. But yeah, so yeah, but though EGX. I went to that for the first time. Like I say, I was absolutely blown away by how awesome it was. It was literally my heaven because I love talking to indie developers, and they're there on hand with their games. A lot of them, especially on the indie side of things, most of them are actually the indie developers standing there with their game, which is so cool. You get to talk to them about their actual game. They want the feedback. They love hearing, negative and positive feedback so they can tweak stuff and all that kind of good stuff. But just being able to play these games ahead of launch, like I actually played Unto the End in 2019 at EGX. That was one of the games there. Valfaris was right next to it, I believe. That's another cool sort of like heavy metal side scroller, which is really cool if you like heavy metal. But yeah, there's so many, loads of games like Fogs. I could go on forever. There's all these games that are sort of coming out now, like Skatebird, that was there. So everything you can imagine was there, and it's just amazing. It's just like it's literally like a theme park, for gamers, really. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just kind of wanted to have a chat about it today because I know a lot of us guys enjoy it too. I'd love to know in the chat as well, guys, if you have sort of plans to go to a EGX or a PAX or any kind of gaming convention when it gets back to normal, this crazy life we're living in right now. But yeah, I'm sure one day it will. But if you would like to go to one, or if you've been to one as well, let me know any good experience you've had in the chat with any of those gaming conventions. But yeah, I'm going to fire it around to our guests, firstly starting with our esteemed guest, Mr. Lord Cognito. I'd quite like to sort of just ask you a sort of general question. What is your kind of relationship with like these gaming conventions, especially maybe like PAX or something like that?
Yeah, great question. I actually love that you put this as one of the topics because It's kind of like what Iron Law Podcast kind of was founded on, because outside of obviously Destiny and other stuff, but one of the things that we pride ourselves on was actually going to conventions, and PAX and E3 are heavily responsible, for our success and our growth. And
nice.
I think I want to shout out Stubbs if he's in here, because he asked me a question and I had to think about it, and it was kind of like, what's one of the things I really enjoy the most? And as a content creator, was it like hosting, doing different things? And I had to think about it. I was like, actually, it's going to the conventions, it's going to the shows, it's actually interviewing indie developers, because you see the passion, and it's like it's undescribable, because it's like, this is their creation, you're seeing it for the first time, the passion is there, that they're willing to take the feedback, like you said, in the game, and like it's a different level of interaction. And then also for me, it gives me personal joy, because sometimes I see successes before they happen. And there's times when I'm like, yo, that's gonna be a hit.
Yeah,
we went to E3 2020, and I was with one of my writers for lordsofgaming.net, and on the list was Fall Guys, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
there you go.
that's a silly game. And he's like, Carl, I'm telling you, man, like this is gonna be it. And then we went to the developer and we saw it, and I'm just like, yo, this is gonna catch on. I can see it. I have a ton of games like that when you see it in the infancy, and it's almost like, it's weird. I almost feel like a proud dad. Like like I showed this to my audience and watched this thing like birth. And like I have like Streets of Rage, man. I mean, I'm coming from a, so I know Sting is in here. I'm a Sega kid. That's one of my favorite franchises of all time. To see, Dutemo, Lizard Cube, and those guys, get a shot at it, and Sega for them to co-sign and say, your work is so good, we want to add this to the canon of Streets of Rage, right? Interviewing those developers, seeing, that, so much fun. That was another one. The Messenger.
Wow. Oh,
Messenger.
Great game.
So proud. Sabotage Studios. I remember seeing this game, and I'm like, almost like a spiritual successor to, Ninja Gaiden, but also with this 8-bit and 16-bit transformation.
Very unique on that front.
Crazy. Well, I was so proud, and then I got a chance to follow
music was so good. So good. I love the way that changes between the 8-bit and 16-bit music as well. That's so good.
So good, bro. And like, even the humor, like you're in the shop and the guy is, he's joking with you. Hey, don't touch the cabinet. Hey, I told you, don't you got a game to finish? Like they break the third wall. And
yes, they do that a lot in that, don't they? Actually, I like that.
The thing that was cool about it with the Messenger for me was just that, again, seeing the success, covering it early, telling people, hey, look out for this game, and then to watch the Game Awards and them win best like new indie or whatever. Hey, that was like, again, you feel like a dad. Like I was there during the birth. Like I know
love
it was. And the last ones I'll say was for me, two other standouts. Why I love the shows. Why no, it probably counts but doesn't count as indie, but I kind of count it, was Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Oh, nice.
That was a Kickstarter game. Yeah. And to see how revered that game, almost like a realistic Skyrim. And just to see their growth and how big they became as a result. And for me, the last one I'll say is, as you know, like I said, I'm a big Inside guy, and we love Playdead. We give them their praise. But in my opinion, the forefather to all of that type of atmospheric storytelling has to go to Another World. And Another World is an older game. That game changed my life. That's literally one of my favorite games of all time.
Yes. Nice.
It was amazing. So what happened is, I'll never forget, it was last PAX I went to, and I got a chance to meet, because that game was created by one guy.
Nice. One guy. It's amazing, isn't it?
Eric Chahi. And I got a chance to interview him, to meet him. He was working on a VR project. Yeah. He rarely does interviews. He rarely does show. Like, it was a once in a lifetime. This guy is very recluse. He does not go out. And just to see him appreciate how much joy, I'm like, dude, you guys are the GOATs of atmosphere. You're the guy. And he was just like, wow, it really means a lot. So those experiences you never forget. And being able to physically go to a show and see these creations, in their infancy, is truly some of the highlights for me as a content creator.
Amazing, bro. I love that. Yeah, no, it is a truly phenomenal experience that you can't really put into words too easily, because like, especially for people who care so much, like obviously you do and I do, about that sort of thing, it's an absolute buzz is what I would say. But yeah, the plan for me was to go this year. I was going to try and get as many kind of interviews as I could, because I felt like last time when I went, it was my first time. I didn't want to be like, hello, I'd like an interview or whatever. I'd trying to get an interview on my first go. I just wanted to get a feel for it. And then I was there, I was actually getting a bit confident. I was actually having the chats, and I was like, that was an interview kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It was like, that might as well have been an interview. So and then like next time, it's like, because they're very open to, I mean, it's obviously best to plan ahead and stuff like that, but most of them are pretty damn cool about it, and they just want exposure as well. So obviously you have to address yourself professionally and all that stuff, but yeah, no, it's just so cool. And I've watched so many of your PAX videos and stuff that you've posted on the Iron Lord's channel, buddy, so they were things that because I love that stuff so much, and I love what you do obviously as well. And I really thoroughly enjoyed all that coverage you did, like with Streets of Rage 4 and stuff like that. You got the behind the scenes on that one as well, didn't you? You went in a little back room for you there. That was sneaky.
Yeah, we got the VIP treatment.
That was pretty sweet. Nice. Yeah, so that's a good level. You've well earned that though. But yeah, no, that kind of stuff is fantastic. And I was planning, like I say, I was going to go this year. I'd booked the hotel, booked the EGX Res tickets for April, but then it got cancelled. That's last year. Sorry, I keep thinking I was going to try and do that, but as soon as this gets back to normal, it'd be great to sort of do all that again. But so just another quick question maybe to fire to you, if you don't mind, before we move forward. Do you feel like sort of like these, I mean, I think this is a no-brainer, but you feel like these are quite valuable for indie developers, these events, as in an in-person event, or do you think it can be done digitally as well?
They tried the digital, and obviously because of the pandemic and the circumstances, we get it why they're doing it, but it's just no comparison. Being physical, seeing the passion from the developer, also understanding the vision, what they're trying to go for, and just seeing the natural reaction from gamers playing their game. You can't quantify that. Like that is just something. It's a magical feeling, and also, obviously the team that we bring, we try to write articles and stuff like that, and these guys check. So they also really appreciate the feedback, because a lot of times, again, they're still in development stage, and there's sometimes they may miss a little thing, or, hey, I didn't think about that. You're right. And then to see that sometimes included in their game based on the feedback that they're getting. So again, that's why it's real time, right?
Exactly.
That's why I love the indie scene versus the AAA scene, because it's like, I've done them both, and no disrespect to my AAA guy, we love breaking those stories and getting it, but like, I always feel there's still a wall. There's still a professional wall where,
as a publisher, normally that you will have to go through before you even get close to the developers.
Definitely.
Ding, 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 ding.
They will not, and they will sometimes vet what questions you're allowed to ask, or vet you down to a point, or even you won't even get to speak to the developer. They'll go, you just tell me the questions, I'll go away and they'll answer them for you. And you're like, okay.
It's very controlled. You're not allowed to say this. You're not. And again, I like to operate in pure transparency and honesty, and I'll have, like, I've had Attic with me sometimes. Attic's funny because he's very, if he doesn't like something, he can't hide it. So it's funny bringing certain people with me, whether it be the Lords or Lords of Gaming writers and stuff like that. But again, the key difference is, the physical interaction, the transparency, the inclusion, and also, the interactions post-launch and stuff like that. Because, people will say, hey, we really took to heart what you guys said about, I mean, Streets of Rage was a clear example. I mean, I told them, I'm like, look, this is amazing, but you need some of the classic, and at the time they played it coy with me. They were like,
really,
we're thinking about it. I'm like, dude, you need to bring Adam back. If you bring him, I'm telling you, this is you're sitting on a gold mine. And Sega has these resources. Please somehow figure out how to get the classic Streets of Rage 1 and 2 characters in. So they see them on release, and he had a big old smile because he knew he had this information already. And then to see it, and then we came back, and it's one of our biggest videos on ILP. It's 4-player co-op.
Yes.
With the Lords. We're all and I'm commentating, and we're having a blast with the retro characters, and it was great.
Yeah, I've seen that. So I love that video. It's great, my friend. Definitely. And it's also, you've added that, you should have Adam in there, and guess who turns up in there? So pretty damn cool. It's cool. Pretty damn cool. Yeah, I love that, my friend. Cool. I'm going to send this over to Removable Sanity next, if that's okay. And I'm going to do something very unprofessional. I'm going to run to the toilet while you talk, if that's all right, bro.
He knows me so well.
Yeah, that's why I sent it to you.
Right, for the next hour and a half, sit back.
Brilliant.
No, you are more than welcome.
Sorry about that, my friend. Yeah, so yeah, what's
I got you.
That's all right. Good Lord, we fine.
We're covered. Yeah, exactly. What's your relationship with conventions, Removable, bro? And just give us some takes on whether you enjoyed them, etc.
Oh, I could be here for a while now.
Go for it.
No worries. I've been doing the kind of the ASG in England for quite a while now. It's been probably 2009 when it first started. So those big events are always fantastic for me. And for me, I always found them. It was like a kid going into a candy shop.
Yes.
That you walk in, and it's like your church. You've just walked into your church, and it doesn't matter whether it's AAA, it doesn't matter whether it's indies. It is like you go in, and I always do the same thing. I look around, and I'm like, where do I go first? I look at the map, and I don't know where. And before you know it, you're just running towards the nearest game. It is a fantastic event. We also in England have EGX Res, which is a indie game only kind of event, which kind of promotes indies a lot more, which one of the things I personally like to go to. I know Indy was hoping to try and go to it in 2020 as well. Hopefully we can try and get that back, and so you can join those as well. But we also, some of the things I would recommend, and this maybe you guys, Lord Kanito, you were saying, I've also go to these almost the best ones I've found so far was, if you really want to spot something up and coming, is to the university show. Sometimes the universities have their own little, I would say, mini shows.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised. They normally there's like game jams. That's what they're talking about. Game jams.
Yes.
And you can spot a game almost from its creation.
Oh yeah.
Literally from someone writing down a piece of paper going, well, this could be a good game. And then they, in a space of that, maybe that slight event, they've created something, and then it'll get further moved on towards, a particular event. So if you can, anyone in the chat, anyone in the actual panel, if you can get yourself to a game jam, I would highly recommend it, because
for not to cut you, what we have in the States is it's called Playcrafted. And I'm a big supporter of those guys. They also have an event called Play NYC, which is kind of like a game jam, which is kind of exactly what you mentioned, where this is literally the infancy stage. These are the birth, place, either where from an idea standpoint or very early. And we've seen some things come out of that as well. I believe a game called Swim Sanity that came out of that. We covered that. There's a lot of other little games. So I know exactly what you mean, even from the university level, also from a game jam level. There are some equivalents here in the States as well. And I do highly recommend them as well.
Yeah, game jam, they're kind of more... They are more sort of very fundamental, because they come with no ideas essentially, and they just jam it out. I think that it's more of a creative environment to interact with other developers. That's what I think. I don't think game jams are events. They're more of a.
You can they do some events, and I have been to a couple.
Oh, really?
What they'll do is they'll do a game jam next to like a mini showing as well. In some
cases. They do it for other people. I mean they're for like developers too, and like artists and stuff. Are they for people to see as well?
Yes. I mean, you can. Again, I said some of the best ones I've seen is the universities ones, because they'll open it to the public as well as the developers and other publishers. And so they'll have some games they've already been worked on sitting beside you, but they'll also at the same time be doing these effectively game jams. So it's almost like sit downs, create the game there and then.
That's literally Playcrafted in the States. Literally Playcrafted. Yep.
It's a fantastic little thing, but it's not often talked about. Hence the reason why I thought I'd bring it up in the UK. You guys sounds like it's a much more probably more well known. It's one of the things that until I got into the industry for a couple of years, I hadn't realised. It was like, it was only when I was going around with some of my colleagues at the time, my peers, they were saying, we're going to a game jam. I'm like, I have no idea. Was it someone just like, it's online? Is it a LAN system, a game party or something? I have no idea what it is. I'm up for it, but and it kind of shocked me. Because then you start to see the progress of someone coming through the industry, learning their craft, and then you'll see them at these almost maybe 2 or 3 years later down the line of where they've progressed. And I've spotted people that's like, oh, I remember you from that 2 years ago, and you've now got your own game. It's like, yeah, I moved on. I got the degree I was in. I've now moved on with this team, and they took my idea, and we've now made it a game. And you're like, fantastic. Yes. I think they are. For me, the indie, obviously EGX Res, as I said, is a much more indie-based event. Whilst EGX is huge, you do have indie gamers and developers set aside. Personally, I'm going to always be biased. I think they should have a bit more of a bigger stage. That's just me. I'm going to be biased in that regard.
On the main EGX, I think they had quite. I went to that. That's the one I went to, the main one last year, and it was big. I mean, they had a massive Cyberpunk stand, and they had like a Avengers or something. But
you walked straight through if you were.
Yeah, I was like, get out of the way. But like they also had
lines are long too long anyway. So.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You had to book in for the Cyberpunk viewing, so it was like,
it is, yeah.
I'm not interested in it anyway. The ones that were busy, there was Hollow Knight Silksong, and also Streets of Rage 4. They were the busiest on the.
No, they were.
Yeah.
I think I went to the same one, but I may have missed you because I went on the weekend. I think you may have gone during the week. Is everyone correctly, or did you go on the weekend?
I went all of the days.
Ah, right. You definitely went. Yeah, no, I've been to EGX, as I said, since it's almost its creation. And EGX Res is one of the ones I recommend to, obviously, to indie as well. I like them because I'm going to be a bit. I like them because I can speak to the developers directly now.
Yes.
When I got in, I only went into the industry for a couple of years. When I got in, I didn't realise this, but you guys might realise this quite now. Was the guy who invited me, and he said, you can talk to people, I can't. I struggle to talk to people. So it was weird because I would just literally go up to them and just have a conversation with them. It didn't matter who they were. I just got up and said, how you doing? How's it going? What's this game about? Oh, fantastic. And they like to see it because they're not just watching you play the game. I also see them watching what you're doing and also trying to work out your thought process. Because 9 times out of 10, they haven't thought about what you're going to do. And you'll do something that's like, damn, I hadn't thought about that. As you was leading to, Lord Kahito.
Yes.
Sometimes gamers just think outside the box, which they haven't thought about, and it is a perfect learning opportunity for them. But also, as you said, you can see. I find, for me, when I was talking to them, when I was interviewing them, it's the passion behind it, and also, as a gamer, you don't hear the struggles behind these guys. You really don't hear. I mean, I remember Raging Justice was the one I
covered them. Yes, I remember that.
And I sat down with them. And do you remember there's a husband and wife team?
Husband and wife team.
He quit his job and he was working full time somewhere else. He had a little child at the same time. And he was doing this, I think it was like from 1 a.m. to about 7 a.m. So he was working almost 24 hours on that game. And he was absolutely shattered. And the amount of sacrifice into that, and his wife was helping out as well. The amount of sacrifice, money they had personally put into this. And you could see it on their faces. They were shattered, but so passionate and enamored by it. And I just find you'll very rarely get to see that with AAAs. Because, as I said previously, you'll get the publisher, you'll walk towards it. It's like a bouncer. You'll get towards them.
Yes.
And no chance. You got no chance. And it's like, all right, okay.
Badge, you ain't got that media badge. You are not getting past, brother.
And trust me, even with a VIP badge, I got it once or twice. You still was limited to what you could say, and so
100%.
It felt like what I always found is that it always was the same questions. And I always say to anyone who's going to interview a developer, and this is don't ask the most standard questions, because this is another thing. You'll see developers and they're standing there for about 10 to 15 hours. Remember, they've got set up about 4 or 5 a.m. and they're probably still setting up around 8 a.m. for about 4 or 5 days. And they're going to get the same questions. It's always like me. So what inspired you? What's this style? What's that gameplay? Will it come to this? It's like, do you know what? So I always find, and this is just me. This is why I kind of get on well with some of the developers. I just first thing I was like, Christ, have you had lunch yet? The first question, something. Yeah, exactly. Humanize your conversation. This is anyone trying to do an interview. Try and get the person to engage with you first, because on a human level, because you'll find then they'll talk to you. They're more relaxed and they'll open up about other things. One of the guy the guy who kind of brought me on, he said, in the space. This is another thing. I talk for hours, so he said, in the space of an hour, you found out that the developer's name, kids, when their parents will be being married. You found out not only everything about the developer and his lifestyle, you found everything about the game. And he said, it took me 3 attempts on 3 different events just to even pluck up the courage to speak to the guy. And I was like, I don't know. I just speak. I think it's one of those things. If you can humanize the conversation first, interview techniques will come in later, and you'll find yourselves much more. But without a doubt, I recommend if you want to speak to a developer, I would always, if you can, speak to them, because it opens your eyes to so much problems, so much struggles, so much they have to go through. And this is what kind of grits me a bit. It's like when people, criticize indie developers, just like, you really don't know what they've gone through. This is not $100 billion company. I mean, don't get me wrong, they stressed as well. They're working their backsides off. Even the top tier ones, they are pushing themselves to the limit. But I would say the indie developers are pushing themselves even further because they have to, and they're also, and because of that, they also come out with different creative ideas because they have to. They go through creative.
Removable, man. You're monologuing. I love what you're saying, but I need to make sure my shows are a little bit shorter. I want to hit you with a question. A nice, simple, concise answer would be awesome, my friend. Sorry to disrespect you if that feels like what I've done. I just want to rein it in a little bit. I just want you to hit me with what's your favourite part about attending the events in a nice paragraph, if you wouldn't mind. I would love to know.
Nice 2-second paragraph. Right, I would definitely have to say the feeling of being a child again. And getting to play games as with that enthusiasm.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
No, I loved what you said, my friend. Thank you very much. It was great. Sorry, I
will talk.
I just didn't want the others to fall asleep, even though it was gold. It was gold what you were saying. It's all good. Start your own podcast. I'd love to listen to it. I don't mean that I mean that in a positive way. I think you should. You'd be great. You'd be fantastic. I really loved that, my friend. And we will be meeting up next time that comes available. The next time these events come on, we are going to be doing that. It'll be so great.
I'll be there.
UK massive. So Fastback, I know you go to PAX every year, my friend, and which I think is awesome. And so I think you've got a few stories of you've played quite a few games at PAX, and I know you love going to them. So what's your take on PAX and any other events that you might have been to? What's your kind of relationship with PAX and any gaming conventions?
I've been to the last 6 PAX South.
Nice.
Here in the States, Texas, San Antonio, and since I live here, so it's pretty easy for me to just head over there and tell the wife, just drop me off over here, and then I'll have to come, because you don't have to worry about paying for parking and all that. But PAX South, it's always been not so much for myself, but something that me and my oldest will go to and experience together. We're both gamers. Normally what I do, because it's a 3-day event, PAX, I think all the PAX are, and I like to go the first night, the Friday, kind of get a scope of the place, what's there. I just take my time, walk around, see what's what all the indie devs and games are there, and and then the next 2 days I'll take then I bring my daughter. The last 2 PAX I brought my nephew.
Nice.
So it's kind of a family experience for me.
That's really cool.
When it's like when you first go, it's like, wow, it's the first one I went to that had a big old Twitch booth and stuff like that. But the first one had more indie, developers there.
Nice.
You didn't have really, some of the bigger AAA booths and stuff like that. I think probably one of the bigger publishers, that were there is Capcom. And they were there for the first 5. They weren't there last year. And what's funny, it's weird, is that last year was kind of lacking as far as even some indie devs. There wasn't for some reason they were just missing a few people.
Yeah.
But after the first one, I saw that the growth. You started getting a mix of big AAA. I really enjoyed Capcom. I really enjoyed. They bring in like Resident Evil, Monster Hunter. They had a huge booth there. Those are so great to see. But then you run around and you see. I love. That's one thing I love. Like my daughter. I go. You know what? You go stand in those long lines. You want to go play some of those big games.
Mm-hmm.
You go. I'll see you in 2 hours. And
Yeah,
I will
yeah.
go. And I will go walk and visit with the some of the smaller games and talk to the devs. And you guys are right. I mean, 'cause they're very open. You can just sit there and talk to them. I made a couple friends and we've invited them onto NLG show.
Nice.
And you get some good insight in them because you get their background. It's like they're not just indie developers. They've worked on some of these bigger studios before. One of them worked on the Old Republic. He was an artist, graphic artist. And the other guy, this was the passion. He wanted to learn how to make games, so he made his game on his own. Well, with some help. But he worked at AMD. He was an engineer at AMD at one time.
Oh, wow.
So it's cool to get some of that backstory, where they came from. And like you guys were talking about Game Jam, one of the guys, well, a couple of them, they said, yeah, they've got, that's how they learned how to build their games, by going to some of these game jams, and you learn from other people.
Yeah, exactly.
You make friends, and then they get them to help. Hey, can you do this for my game? So there is a big community there that we don't hear about. That they all interact with each other, and yeah, they might have to pay a little fee for some stuff. Somebody might be able to do the sound, the audio, and all that.
Yeah,
overall,
sound and audio is outsourced and stuff like that. But the game jams, like a lot of developers come together. Like Team Cherry came together through a game jam. That's how Hollow Knight started out. I know I reference Hollow Knight a lot, but it's one of the most successful indie games, and it started out through a game jam. So I
see you plug it.
Plug. Gotta get on board.
You have the reference full. I respect it.
Jump on the train.
I also, almost every PAX South, I've seen Devolver Digital there.
Yep.
Tiny Build, they always have a big booth.
Huge presence, yeah. Devolver.
Not last year, but the year before was the first time I saw PlayStation and Xbox. Now I know Lower Cognito, he goes to PAX East. Man, they get all the good. They get everybody.
PAX is nice. PAX East is nice.
That's kind of the flagship, isn't it? Would you say for the PAX?
Yeah, that's where it first started, wasn't it? But that one year we had, Xbox had a smaller little setup, and they were kind of showing off. I'll think about it here in a little bit, but they didn't really were showing games, and they were giving away. I actually won a bunch of Game Pass stuff from them, and PlayStation was showing off PSVR, but they had a big booth for Days Gone, and
yes, I covered that.
I was really interested in that. Yeah, it was cool, right? Yeah. You had all, like, they had dead bodies hanging everywhere.
They had a big nice setup.
And so me and my daughter, we wanted to play it, so we're like, look, let's walk around. We'll go, do this and that. We come by and we'll see how long the line is. Finally, the line came down, and we're like, all right, let's go jump in. And went in there. We both played, and we had a good time. And as we were walking out, we talked to 2 devs and they were cool. I mean, we just sat there and talked to them, and they, hey, you got any questions? And so it's a family affair for me, and just enjoy just seeing all this new experience, seeing a diverse. Over the years, it's just really grown, become diverse. Here in San Antonio, the convention center, we got a nice big convention center. So you have the floor downstairs, and then you go upstairs, and then you have where the panels, right? So you go in there and you get a little bit more info from some of these developers.
Oh yeah.
On those panels, and speaking of Lord Carnito mentioned Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
That's where I met Rick. You know,
Yes.
I got to meet Rick, sat down with him, and just a great guy. And you know, he explained. He couldn't let me play the game, but he let me watch him play, and he explained. And you know, I was just hooked after that. So, and to this day, he's a friend. He comes on the show.
Absolutely, awesome guy. Yeah,
and also, I forgot to mention Fame and Dallas.
Yes.
You know, I ran into them almost every year. And Fame, you know, because he was working with TICGN, right? So he had that press badge, and he, you know, he was so cool. He's like, hey, you want to come in and we're gonna interview this game? You want to come over and you know jump in with us? So that's the cool things about that. You can meet people, you know, just you know enjoy the gaming passion together.
Definitely.
And you know, last year I met Sincere, you know, Gold Chain Gamer, him and his wife. I mean, we were sitting there just talking and you know this and that. He's like, hey, we're having our own little live podcast here. I said, yeah, we are. So, you know,
nice.
But, no, it's great. I've taken lots of pictures, and hopefully we'll get back to January next year. So,
Amen.
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? Definitely. Yeah, nice, bro. Definitely dig that. That's fantastic. So, Jubei Sensei, have you ever checked out any of these gaming conventions, my friend?
No, not in person. Last year we were actually prepped to go to E3, with the VGP crew, but
oh really? That's a shame.
Canceled. That just ruined all.
Yeah, that hurt. That hurt, man.
That stung a little bit. So, looking forward to the future there. I do want to like go to like game jams and conventions and stuff, but I've been to like anime conventions. Me living where I live there, I've been to like Comic-Con and things like that, but not an actual gaming related convention like that in that sense. So.
You love it, brother.
Yeah, you'll dig it. Once you go, it'll be like, oh my god, I should have been going. Yeah, it's definitely an amazing experience for gamers. You know, it's especially people who like, you know, to support. I think if it's from the indie scene, it's much more. I mean, like the big AAA fans, I don't know if they'll get as much out of it, to be honest with you. These are kind of events because, you know, it's all just queuing for 2 hours. It's like going to a theme park or something. You wait for 2 hours to go on a ride, if you know what I mean.
On a popular ride. Yeah, you're going to be there. You're going to waste your whole experience waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you could be going around, like people just standing there with no one. Like, obviously, when it gets busier, it's a bit more like you have to wait maybe for someone to finish or whatever. But a lot of the time, you just get straight on and then have a chat and stuff because you'll play the game and then they'll sort of. Or like for me, I'll be like, I'll get stuck and they'll say something over my shoulder. Oh, you can jump, by the way, and I'll be like, oh, right. And then I'll be like,
tutorial.
I was just trying to open up the dialogue between us. No, I'm only joking. But it's just, I do enjoy that part of it, you know, the back and forth and stuff. But, you know, playing all the games early as well, I find that really cool. And I don't, you know, not all people like to, but I really enjoy seeing the games and seeing how they come along as well. That's, you know, a big factor for me. I really enjoy seeing that. Yeah, the process is interesting, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy to think sometimes how, you know, how it builds. It's like we've been seeing again today. Joe Song of Iron has now updated his climbing physics in the game, which are much better. They look really good. He's always adding extra elements to it to perfect it. So, you know. Shout out to Joe. It's the weekly shout out for Joe. check out Song of Iron.
We got this Song of Iron and we getting the Hollow Knight.
Yeah, you know it.
I'm learning how we do it here.
Yes, man, definitely. Yeah. You got to shout him out, like, because we'll be hopefully doing an interview again at some point. But I am super excited for that game. It's really looking fantastic. But yeah, no, like. It's like I say, I mean, I actually met Masked Mayhem, who's in the chat at the moment. Shout out to Masked Mayhem. How you doing, bro? Yeah, I met up with Masked at EGX 2019. At the time, there wasn't as many people who were in the community in the UK. I don't think there was as many. Like, I know there was obviously Daz and stuff, but there wasn't as many really. So there was the Master and Tom Wild from that crew. But yeah, like I feel like now there's a lot more UK people who have come into the community, which is really cool. So definitely think that there'll be a good opportunity for a lot of us to meet up. That's my hope, is a good old meet up at EGX, and I'll be definitely diving into as many indie games as possible. Because the thing is as well, I don't know about you guys how you go about your EGX or your PAX approach, but I'd like to try and get as much out of it as possible, and I research it before and find out what games are there, and then make a list of what games I'm going to hit up, because otherwise you're kind of working around aimlessly, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Calendar appointments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so and I was just going to say, I still didn't make all of the games that I wanted to, even though I hit loads of games, and I was there 3 days, so it's quite crazy, really. But yeah, it was really great to meet up with Masked, and we had a little game on a few games. I'll still remind him that I beat him at the racing game we played. Just Circuit Superstars. Another flex in the bag. But yeah, no, it's Circuit Superstars is looking awesome. A really cool racing game that's coming out. So looking forward to that one. But yeah, good stuff.
Look forward to that one.
Yes, he will. He's actually watched my stream on it, actually. I think so. I think he said he's picking up day one, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a really cool looking game, that one. I actually was I did apply. I'm in their Discord, and I was going to do so they're doing a online test at the moment, so they want to and I missed it actually, because I was doing something else the other day, but they wanted people to do play tests. So I'm like a play tester or whatever. You get like a blue thing in there. If you wanted to do that, you can just join their Discord and apply to be a play tester for them, which is pretty cool. That's another thing. Again, it's like that's what the indie world is all about. It's kind of like you can get in on the Discords. If at the moment it's not so accessible in person, but with Discords and stuff like that, like you can apply for an alpha code to check out games and then give them feedback in the Discord. That's often being used as a great tool at the moment. There's that sort of Discord sort of setup thing. So yeah, there is all that, which is great to be able to participate into the creative process as well in that small way. It's definitely a lot of fun. But yeah, good stuff, guys. I do love my PAX and not PAX, sorry, EGX. I would love to go to a PAX as well. Obviously, that would be cool. But maybe one day, you never know.
He's just across the pond.
Come over, short swim. Maybe for Cog in his beefy arms.
He'll meet you halfway, and then you can
Sounds good, bro. Definitely. Cool, excellent stuff, guys. So let's move on from there. That was fantastic. Really interesting talking about that, because it's a fun time, the old conventions, and look forward to hopefully seeing him return potentially. I mean, EGX is October, the main EGX usually, so you never know. Never know what might happen this year, but I doubt it, to be honest. But maybe next year, we'll see. But let's hope they do return to at some point, at least. But great stuff there, guys. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got a couple of topics. I just wanted to maybe just ask you guys. One of them was the Steam Game Festival. I just want to quickly check, though. Did you check out many games from the Steam Game Festival? Just as
I checked out a couple. For me, I didn't go too in depth, but the one that had my attention, that I just based on the art style, is this game called Ash Walkers. And,
okay, cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like a survival journey game. I like my little survival tough choice kind of game. Looks
nice.
Like it was a group. And the thing about it, as far as a very non-linear narrative simulation, 34 possible endings. The art style almost gave me Borderlands vibes. It gave me like Borderlands vibe. The art style kind of like cell shade.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, very Borderlands. The environment looked cool. So I got my eye on it. I just want to see where they go with it. I like survival journey stuff sometimes, and I'm curious to see how far they go with that. But that was one that caught my interest.
Nice, bro. Did you happen to notice one called Undying on there?
Yes.
Undying is, I think, if you like survival, I think you should check that one out, because that one is kind of like a zombie apocalypse, I believe. Imagine like The Walking Dead or something, and you're a woman and you have to protect your child.
Oh, it's amazing. I know what you were talking about. That one I knew about for a while.
Yes.
One, she's infected. And she's eventually going to turn.
Oh, yes, I know what you're. Yes, I remember seeing a bit about that. Yeah,
I think they showed it at a man. Where did I see that? I remember that game. I know it looked very cool. And you have to teach him, your son, with your limited time, the skill so that he has to survive. And
Yes.
how the
I
story
mean, that's
plays out.
horrific in itself, isn't it? That's a story and that's a gut cruncher there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. I love the
remember that
concept. Really, really cool concept. Definitely. Yeah. So, was there any others that you kind of checked out at all? Or?
Those were the ones too. I didn't go too in depth. I mean, I had my eye on stuff. It was that, I think. There was one called like Minute of Islands.
Oh yes, I streamed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Minute of Islands.
Did you play that one?
On that one? I did not. I did not. A
No.
lot of it was I just kind of looked at briefly. It was just a very busy week, but I got a chance to look at a lot of them. So that was one on my radar.
It's really, really cool, my friend. It's
really good.
Yeah, I really loved it. Like I say, I streamed it. I think was it 2 days ago or something. Absolutely a beautiful art style, you know, and the mechanics are really cool too. It's a really cool sort of juxtaposition between the sort of dark, sort of underworld of the game. Like it's quite vulgar in a way almost, but it's also juxtaposition with like a beautiful sort of like comic book style art style, which is really, really cool. Definitely really looking forward to it. It's coming out on March the 18th as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so it's coming soon, definitely. Yeah.
And then there's a kind of bombastic big game, something King's Hunt or something. And that one, I was like, man, this looks epic. Like it kind of was like it's like a third person, but it was like an online, like a little bit of tower defense, a little bit of hack and slash, but it was very over the top. Like graphically, it looked really impressive. They had like a lot of characters on screen and stuff like that. So I mean, look, I'm down with the Iron Lords. Anything with King's Hunt royalty, and I gotta see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those situations. You know, so once I see knight armor and all that, I'm in. I want to know what's going on. But yeah, King's Hunt definitely like third person online multiplayer action game. But definitely some tower defense, definitely some hack and slash, and it looked pretty impressive graphically. I was just like, wow, this game looks very ahead. So that was another one that I saw as far as the festival.
Sounds great, my friend. Yeah, no, good stuff. That's some nice picks there. Anyone else? How about Fastback? Did you check out any of these juicy, like I say, 500 plus games in the Steam Festival? I don't know if I mentioned that a second ago. It's running from the 3rd till the 9th of February. If you haven't jumped in already, jump in on Steam and download as many as you can. Did you happen to download any yourself, Fastback, bro?
I downloaded Lovecraft Tales.
Nice.
It's a puzzle platformer, horror puzzle. It looked kind of cool. Looks like you're playing Ichabod Crane. Atmosphere looks pretty cool. And,
did you check it out, or you haven't?
No, I have not played it yet.
No worries, bro. That's cool.
No, I haven't had a chance. So that's why it's one thing about having a 3-day weekend. So
yes,
I can really jump in on some of these. Here's one. We were talking about Medium and Inside. There's one called Evil Inside. There you go.
There we go.
Survival horror, first person.
Nice.
Truck Mechanic, Dangerous Past, kind of, if you like Snow Runner and Mud Runner, that one might be interesting. Just exploration driving.
Nice. Sounds good.
There was one other that had my eye, but there's so many in here. Just download them and try them.
There is so many. I mean, I could shout out a ton in there. I mean, Bloodroots is definitely awesome pickup. I mean, to check that out. I mean, it's already out on Epic Games since a year ago. That exclusivity's run out now, and it's coming out very soon. But Bloodroots is an awesome game, really fast paced, sort of like colourful visuals, sort of storybook, comic book style visuals, kind of like almost. It's a bit like a Katana Zero, but on top-down version, if you see what I mean. So very fast-paced, sort of like one-hit kill. If you get hit once, you're down. And you pick up anything to kill anyone with. So you can pick up a carrot, you can pick up a shotgun, you can pick up whatever's in your. You can pick up an oar from a boat. You can pick up anything, and it's crazy in a good way. It's really fun. Definitely check out Bloodroots. That's a really really fun game. Already streamed it on the channel as well.
Worlds.
Yeah, Unbound Worlds.
That looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, I streamed that one as well. Yeah, that one's really cool Metroidvania game, Unbound Worlds Apart. Definitely check that one out if you like Metroidvanias. Highly recommend that one. There's a over-hour prologue on there, I believe. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. But I think another thing to mention as well is with the Steam Festival, often you'll download the games and they sometimes will last longer than the period of the actual festival. So if you're kind of like thinking about it, then it's worth just downloading. And then, you know, you might get a chance to play it after if you didn't, you know, get time or whatever. It's worth just checking them out, downloading, as they don't take up much of the hard drive usually, the old indie games, which is pretty good. But yeah, there is so many on there. Like, Cog was saying, like, I really enjoyed Minute of Islands when I streamed it. I'll pull up maybe a little bit of gameplay of that in a minute, but it's on the last video I did on the channel. Really cool adventure game, very intriguing sort of mystery going on, and the art style is literally stunning. Cool. Yeah, it's so good. Cool. Yeah, for sure. I highly recommend checking that one out. How about yourself, Removable Sanity? Did you check anything out?
To be honest with you, no, because one of the I kind of use you. I'm going to be a bit of honest here. I use you as a kind of a guide because you always seem to hit a very nice selection across the board. Which there is always going to be something that you stream that I'm going to be intrigued in. Another aspect to it is being the only probably panel member that doesn't own a PC. It is just basically me salivating.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough.
So it's like, well, that's not good.
So it's the second reason.
It's a little bit of that, but I also keep an eye on it because I hope then these were going to make themselves to other platforms.
Absolutely. So I mean, that's the thing.
Keep an idea.
They're not just only on Steam. Yeah, like Minute of Islands is coming out on consoles as well. So you know what I mean.
I spotted that, and I was like, that looks amazing. I saw you streaming it as like, well, that's going to be a checklist. Tick, you know, so those little aspects.
Thank you.
As I said, I kind of use you, and I'm putting my hands up here as my buffer into it, because otherwise I will probably end up just salivating. It's the problem, that's the big
thing. I love it. No, thank you. That's very kind of you. I'm glad you used me as your salivation tool. that came out wrong. I got it the wrong way around.
Get jealous.
I love it. Brilliant. Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's that's obviously a challenge if you've not got the PC. No problem at all, buddy. Yeah, there's some good ones in there, but I'm going to try actually and stream some more before the 9th is over. So hopefully I'll stream a couple more. That'll be cool. No problem. So Jubei Sensei, brother, did you check out any of these Steam games, or did you have a look through maybe to see if there was anything that caught your eye?
Yeah, I downloaded like I think 4 or 5
nice
demos. I definitely picked up Sands of Aura, so I'll be checking that out. Genesis Noir also just looked dope. I just really like the art style.
Yeah, and it's a music based game, isn't it, as well? So you might enjoy that.
I definitely am gonna try the demo for Undying. I love the premise when that game was first announced, and I'm like, that is really cool.
Definitely.
Just to kind of see what they have like after that first teaching moment happens. Because I don't know if it stops with like you and as long as your son can survive. I guess that'd be the game, or how that would work. But it was that, and then I also picked up Lunark, just because I'm.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, nice.
So, that Shady Night, just because it looked goofy enough to.
Yeah, I tried that actually. I tried that earlier yesterday.
How did you feel about it?
It's not got controller support, so I'm not very good on mouse and keyboard. But I played mouse and keyboard, and it was a bit like I'm not judging this properly, if you know what I mean, because I'm judging it on how I can't judge it against other games because I'm playing with something I've never really played before. If I will automatically choose controller every time, pretty much, if you see what I mean. But yeah, so I imagine it'll have. It did seem nice. I think it's because as well it's first person kind of like slasher kind of thing. It's almost like Ghost Runner sort of feel to it, if you know what I mean. Ghost Runner.
Yes, I covered that. Yeah.
Oh, cool, nice. Yes, it's kind of like that, but it's obviously doesn't look anything like that. But that's the sort of feel of the feel. Yeah. So you need to you need to feel comfortable with the controls, if you see what I mean. It's quite fast paced. Gotcha. So that's why I felt like I'm not really judging this properly if I'm using my non-preferred control, if you know what I mean. So with it, you might well love it. Definitely give it a try, I reckon, my friend.
And the last thing I got was a visual novel. I'm a fan of those as well. There's one called Mamiya. I just loved like just the art style, what they were going for there. And it's psychological horror, so that should be nice. Should be interesting to check out.
Nice. Did anyone see that one where it's sort of like deep below the sea, kind of, and you use control 4 people? I forget the name of it now. Deep below the sea. It's not the name of it. That's where it was set. I can't remember the name of it now. Where it was set. Yeah, that doesn't help at all with 500 games, does it? I think it might be called Into the Deep. Actually, I think it's called Into the Deep.
Deep.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool anyway, but yeah, there's
nobody mentioned Zombie Soup.
Zombie.
Nah, I'm just joking.
Sorry. Just quickly, guys. By the way, if you're watching the screen right now, you are watching us play some Deep Rock Galactic. If you were wondering what it was, this is me, Fastback, and VJ, and Infinite playing some Deep Rock Galactic for the first time. So yeah, it's a really fun game actually, really good in co-op. And
yeah, it was.
Fastback got to be the cool.
Did anybody end up checking out Balan Wonderworld?
Not yet, no.
For that, and I don't know how to feel about it. So
yeah, I know what you
more
mean.
People to play it so I can talk about it.
Yeah, it's kind of there's a mixed opinions on it at the moment, I think, isn't there? Yeah, but I mean, Knights, I really enjoyed that back in the day. That was a cool game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I get those vibes, but I was not rocking with the controls at all. I'm like, this is gonna be.
Yeah, their control system is a bit weird, I heard. Yeah, I think that was Puxley that said that. Yeah, so it sounds like you're not the only person who said it, I guess. Well, yeah, maybe just give it a shot for yourself. I guess that's the only way to know. Yeah, so Fastback, I'd ask you, haven't I? Did I ask you Fastback if there's anything you checked out? I forget.
Yeah,
I did, sorry. Yeah.
No, you did.
I did. Yeah. Cool. Good stuff, guys. So let's move on then. I just want to shout one more time out the fact that the Steam Festival is on right now. If you're on PC, you probably already know that, but it's not that well shown. I mean, it was on the first day, but now it's sort of gone into a little mini sort of slimmer banner rather than being the top thing, I believe, on their page. But yeah, anyway, Steam Festival, 500 games to download. Highly recommend just going in. I mean, like a couple of them I just downloaded, a ton of them just played for 10 minutes almost. You know what I mean, just to get a feel for it, kind of vibe. Some of them obviously I played a lot longer when I enjoyed. I think it's just a really cool thing the way they do that festival. But like I say, 3rd till the 9th is when it runs. Jump on in, dive into the Steam Festival, download some demos, some cool stuff in there. I'm actually discovering new games as well that I haven't sort of seen before, which is really cool. Like there's one called oh god, what is it called? Parking. It's like a parking simulator. Basically, you have to park your car. It sounds really weird, but sometimes I really just like those kind of games. You know what I mean? You have to just come in and park it in the spot, and that's it. Like and they're different. It's kind of. Have you played What the Golf? Anyone heard of What the Golf? That's no worries. That's kind of that. It's kind of like silly sort of scenarios where it's not like real golf. It's silly scenarios where all sorts of weird things are happening, like the holes moving around, and then there's like a house. You have to hit the house instead of the golf ball. It's just randomness, but it's actually really fun. I just like stuff like that sometimes. But yeah, that's got that vibe to it. And there's also a kind of Overcooked style game where you have to where you're working in a hospital instead of cooking food essentially. So it's I forget the name of it. It's a clever little pun or something, but there's a cool little hospital. I should have wrote these down really. Hospital
parking
style.
One that you were talking about, was it You Suck at Parking?
You Suck at Parking, that's the one. Yeah, you got it. Thank you very much. That's the one.
I want to play that just for the name.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it looks really fun.
I'll make my oldest play that because she's got to go take her driving.
Brilliant. Yeah, You Suck at Parking. And it's funny when you actually park it, it goes, "You rock at parking." It comes up on the screen. You rock at parking. It's fun. I just like the simplicity. Sometimes that's what indie games do really well, is just take the sort of like slice instead of try and go really big. they take a slice of what's cool and focus in on it and just make it fun. So yeah, I think that is a cool, fun little game just to sort of kill some time with us, essentially. But let's move on from there then, guys. We're going to move into a topic about what indie games essentially we're looking forward to this coming month. We've got some cool stuff coming up. There's been a few Game Pass editions recently as well. We can include that. I thought it would be good to sort of spread the word a little bit of a few games that we might be looking forward to. Let me see if I can pull up my little thingy bob. There we go. So we've got a few new Game Pass editions recently, which you'll see on screen right now. And like I say, we've got some pretty cool games dropping over the next month or so. I'd just be interested to know if you've got anything you're looking forward to, or if any of these games that you're looking forward to. I can give you a little rundown of I'll tell you what, I'll let you guys go first, and then I'll dive into.
Maybe you should give us a rundown.
Yeah.
Can't remember everything.
No worries.
You've not made a list.
That's totally fine. Yeah. I was just going to give you a rundown of kind of 3 of what the indie games in this list are. I'm not actually sure what Stealth 2 is. I've not heard of that game. But yeah, the 3 on here that drew me straight into the Game Pass list, that is Project Winter, Ghost of a Tale, and also The Falconeer. So that is awesome that they're all dropping into Game Pass, and they're all on.
Well, actually, Falconeer's already in.
Yeah. Sorry, they are. That's what I meant by that. Yep. Sorry. Yep. I do believe Project Winter is in already as well. And Ghost.
I bought that at launch, and I wish I didn't.
Oh, that's a shame.
You got me.
It's always the way, isn't it? It's typical. But yeah, so I mean, I was going to say, so we've got Project Winter going in, which is like an 8-player survival game where one person plays as the traitor and the rest the survivor. So very much kind of in the vibe of oh my god.
Among Us.
Thank you very much. I don't know why that went out of my head. It just totally slipped out. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, Among Us, very much in the vibe of that, which is cool, but it's something maybe a little less already. Everyone knows about Among Us now, so maybe give this guy a chance because he's starting out in life. Well, he's actually not. He came out in 2019, actually, but it came out in 2019 on the PC, but now it's over on Xbox as well, which is great to see, and straight into Game Pass. So hopefully more people will check it out, and it's great that it's in there with Game Pass being, everyone's got Game Pass, so multiplayer aspect, people can dive in on it. I'll give a quick rundown of these 3 games. Ghost of a Tale is another game I was really excited to see go in. It's only on PC, so sorry about that, removable.
It's fine, don't worry.
But it's
you can just watch
corner, okay?
Yeah, you can just watch Andy play it.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm right there with him.
I love you. Love it. The Ghost of a Tale is a game I've had in my arm for a while. It's actually a game that's been out even longer than Project Winter. I think it's actually been out 6 or so years or something like that. But it does look really nice. It's actually got really nice visuals. It's an action RPG game, and you play as a mouse, and you're kind of it's kind of basically. The game takes place in a medieval sort of world populated by animals, and the emphasis is on immersion and exploration, but also some heavy stealth elements, dialogues and quests. So yeah, lots to it in that regard. The visuals are really nice, as I say. I had my eye on this on Steam for a while, so it's great to see it coming into it's actually on my wish list on Steam, so I was checking it out recently. So perfect convenience going in there. So yeah, and third and finally, many of you guys probably will know about the Falconeer. The Falconeer, sort of more of a recent game, and I bet a lot of people are kicking themselves for buying it on from day one now. So
I described this, and I must admit, I'm like, thank you.
Thank you. Good thing I waited.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Be patient.
Yeah, it does indeed sometimes. And I always say, games going into Game Pass, people sometimes look at it as if you're not supporting the developer. You are supporting the developer because you're paying for Game Pass. So don't feel bad, for that. It's sometimes people are like, I have to buy the game to support them. I mean, fair enough if you want to do that. That's great. You are supporting them extra then. But you're not supporting them by having Game Pass. You are very much supporting the developer because you're paying for Game Pass. So yeah, just thought I'd say that. But yeah, so the Falconeer looks amazing. Beautiful visual style. A very different game. Don't get many sort of air combat games, so really good to see that in there. So let's fire this one over to Lord Cognito and see if there's anything that grabs your attention out of them. And maybe I'll bring up a few of the. Oh, actually, and as well, if you've had your eye on what's coming out in February, feel free to let us know if there's any indie games you're looking forward to throughout February as well, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much you nailed it. I mean, as far as the Game Pass list, the two that you mentioned, like I said, Falconeer, glad I waited. So definitely was on my eye, but it was just too much going on. And, currently I'm a big Gears Tactics fan, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. I'm
glad someone else appreciates that game.
I'm a huge fan of that game.
Which game? Sorry, I missed. Sorry,
Gears Tactics.
Oh, nice, good stuff.
So I just couldn't fit Falconeer around the launch window because I knew I'd be kind of wrapped up with that.
Yes.
But definitely got my eye on that. And then Project Winter, only because I'm very curious because that Among Us game style.
Yes.
It's like multiplayer. Interactive, someone's an imposter, and like you kind of got to figure out who's accusing who's legitimate. I felt that would have been perfect for Game Pass. So being that they didn't have Among Us, Project Winter is kind of in that vein, and if it's well done, that could jump off in a service like Game Pass, because I figure those type of games really suit to the service. You're giving light on and a lot of engagement to a genre that most have not played. So I'm curious to see how that is. I think Attic downloaded it, so I'm gonna probably play it with him. And those are the two right now that I've really got my eye on.
That looks interesting.
That's
more of like an adult version of Among Us.
Yes. So
Yeah,
I want to know how if they pull it off, does it have the same allure? What's the differences, kind of thing. Because I remember seeing that game debut. I came across one of my feeds or timelines of developers or something, and I'm like, okay, all right, interesting. And then now, obviously, I'm seeing Among Us success, so I was like, well, maybe this is, maybe this is just as good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well said, my friend. Yeah, no, I think it's nice to see that, because that is a very interesting concept, isn't it, with that imposter factor? It's almost like those murder mystery parties. I don't know if you have them in America. You know what I mean?
Like a whodunit. Like the whodunit.
Definitely. It's almost like not the usual sort of game type, is it? Which is great to see it being brought into the gaming sort of area. So, yeah, definitely. I like that. I will definitely be checking it out myself too. Great stuff. So Fastback, brother, what are you looking forward to this month? And if there's anything that's not on this Game Pass list too, just let us know.
I definitely want to play the Falconeer, like y'all said. I didn't buy it when it came out. There was other stuff that I was playing and buying, so I definitely want to check that out. And Wolfenstein Youngblood, I didn't check that out too back then.
Sure.
So I like to I like a good Wolfenstein game.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that's co-op, ain't it?
Yes.
So you're playing the two daughters or two sisters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I just saw Project Winter, what that's about, now that's got me interested.
Nice.
5 to 8 players.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. I'd like to check that out.
Yes, sir.
But I was looking more on the a couple others. I saw the Yakuza. Now that they threw all that in there, I'm interested.
The remastered.
I'm interested in jumping into the Yakuza stuff. So, yeah.
Nice, bro. Sounds good. There are some other great games coming up this month. Which this is a funny one, right? I know a lot of people will think of this as an indie game, and I understand why. And that is Little Nightmares 2. But in actual fact, I don't believe it is an indie game anymore. But that's a little bit of a longer talk maybe than this little time allows. Well, they've built out by a bigger studio, and they are definitely going for the indie spirit with their game design. That's for sure. Yeah. And it's very much inspired by games like Inside. And I loved Little Nightmares 1, by the way. But it's Tarsier Studios, and they've been bought by somebody recently. I forget the group. They've been bought by a group who are quite a large group, quite a big team working on it as well, actually. But it's looking good. February the 11th for that game anyway. Definitely will be checking it out, I think. But yeah, it's a funny one. It's like the grey area of indies, which we seem to encounter every podcast, talking about the where it falls.
Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's all right. I threw that one in there, but I just thought I'd say because it's coming out quite soon. By the way, I'm showing a Project Winter trailer on the screen at the moment. It does look pretty cool.
It does,
Yeah, so I'll throw up some others as well in a second. Yeah, anything else you're looking forward to though, Fastback?
I could go on. I mean, there's Control, and you know, I mean, it's just there's no limit.
And if you
go
guys
all day looking through Game Pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Just with new releases wise.
Yeah. No. Other than that, so far those right now.
Any of you guys heard about Curse of the Dead Gods?
Didn't I have not.
Now you have. That's a game. That's a game that you need to check out. I will come back to that when it's me. I'll have a little chat about that. But let's keep on moving for now, and I'm going to show the trailers of these.
Oh, real quick, Donut County. I wouldn't mind checking that out, or have my daughter play it.
Nice.
It's one game that I did see at PAX.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a nice game actually. It's Annapurna have published it, so as well that always means good things in my opinion. But yeah, so good stuff. And let's go Jubei Sensei this time. We've got Project Winter on the screen, my friend. I know you said you were interested in it. Anything else you're going to be checking out as well, bro?
I bought the Falconeer at launch, but I haven't really sat down and played it outside of the tutorial. So.
Oh, really? That's a shame, isn't it? At least it wasn't a big about 25, wasn't it, or so, in that UK?
Yeah, it wasn't like a full.
You now get the DLC though. That's £1.69. So.
The DLC is like $2. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so.
I did download a Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So
nice.
When I can make it
I'm
to
playing
those.
like a dragon.
I bought like a dragon at launch too.
Nice.
That's a brilliant game. It's a brilliant game.
Love it.
Yeah. So once I'm done with Zero and Kiwami 1 and 2, we'll move on to that stuff. And something that wasn't in that list that I'm still looking forward to. Hopefully this year we get a release date is Tunic.
Nice.
Nice.
My other indie game that I really need to come out.
That would be nice. There's so many of those which I'm hoping for coming out. Yeah, definitely. We're sort of knuckling on the most what we're coming in this month. No worries. Yeah, so you're probably going to get around to the Falconeer, and you're looking forward to checking out Project Winter. We should do that together. I know you guys on the VGP have played some Among Us. So, what did you think of them playing Among Us as a crew?
As a group, that shit was hilarious.
Nice.
I mean, that game is way more fun when you play with people you know.
Yes.
Yes.
You know their tendencies and stuff. So
definitely. Yeah, exactly. I think it'll be fun. I think this game will be fun as well, Project Winter.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll play with you.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll come to play.
and it's cross. I didn't realize it was crossplay. So yeah.
Is it? Okay, that's even better. Fantastic. Good stuff. Yeah, cool. So, removable sanity, bro. Have you got any that you're eyeing up?
I have a couple. And none that's on the screen. I've
Lovely.
actually got a couple people may have not heard of. One which is coming out, I'm hoping quite soon, is called Speed Limit.
I know that one. Yeah,
I don't.
I played that.
Oh, great! I'm glad someone else knows that one then. Yeah,
I've played the demo actually.
Really fun.
That's actually in the Steam
brilliant.
Festival. Check it out in the Steam Festival.
There you go. See, I'm not complete yet. It's coming to other platforms, so it looks really fun. I really like the style of that, and so that's another one that I'm keeping my mind ready and going for that. The other one I've got, I don't think many people may have heard of it. Some may, as you said, maybe Indy has, because he's always good at this. The other one I'm looking forward to is called King of Seas.
King of Seas. Don't know that one, I don't think.
Yeah, it's classified as like an action role-playing game that's kind of procedurally generated, but it's a pirate world, so you basically control a pirate ship, and it's open world, but it's procedurally generated, and you go from island to island picking up treasure. It's a kind of almost isometric sort of type game, and that's coming out quite soon as well. And the last one, which I'm sure most of you have heard, I actually got to play this at 2018 in EGX. Biomutant.
Nice. What month is that? May that's coming out?
Yes, I think it's May. Yeah, and that
Nice.
I'll be intrigued to see how
Yeah.
far it's progressed from the demo to what's actually been said off.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would be interesting. You know, that game's got a lot of
I just think it's
potential.
strange that we.
Mm.
Yeah,
Sorry, Fast Back.
but it'd been quiet for a while, right? And then all of a sudden, boom.
I thought it died literally because we hadn't heard anything for about. I said I played the demo in about Cognito. You might have played it similar. I don't know. I played it at a demo around one of the GGXs. I'm pretty sure it was about 2018, and then I never heard a single thing. It just went dead.
Completely disappeared. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is though, I mean, I know what you mean, but I think a lot of games have to do that to get their head down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, from what I've heard, is the developers I think they tweaked a few things. They've realised that certain things wasn't up to scratch. They've added in a few more to their team. As you said, they just stuck their heads down, knuckled down, and it's like, do you know what? When it comes out, and we'll let everyone know then.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is, I mean, this is slightly different, but I was watching Dino Patti, you know, the guy I said who's left Playdead, and now he's
Playdead.
Yeah, so I was watching an interview of him last night, and he's very careful to not say things conceptually or what like very specifics, because they are still finding the groove and stuff like that. I know this might be slightly different because they're further down the line with Biomutant and other games, but like, you know, making a game isn't just like they know exactly what it's going to look like right at the start, if you see what I mean. So it's an evolution, like, and it's like iterative as well, so they don't know exactly what it's going to turn out like. So that's probably why they're a bit more careful, just to hide a little bit sometimes, I bet, because they're still actually figuring out what they're going to do with it, in some senses of it, if you see what I mean. That's what I feel anyway.
Yeah, and they said they did find that there was some issue. I remember correctly. I was sure there was an interview with them recently. They did say that they looked at some aspects and there weren't elements that just didn't work, and so they kind of ripped them out and started again from afresh. You know, so you do need time to do sort of things like that. And so if you've got people asking you consistently and badgering you, it's only going to put more pressure on you. So sometimes, I know it's not nice, but sometimes it is just to go dark and then just say, here it is.
Which is, again, why I think, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, I think you probably would have noticed this, and that's the Ascent on Twitter. That's been red hot lately. They've been posting so much, and that is probably why we are going to see the Ascent quite soon, I think. Potentially, you know, maybe like middle of this year potentially or something, which will be really great. It's looking hot, that game. Definitely. No, that's great. So yes, going back to Speed Limit, it's quite a arcadey sort of. It's got many different sort of styles of game in there, hasn't it? It sort of is quite a mix up.
It does. It looks great.
Looks fun. I actually play. It's quite tough actually, which is good in a way.
Brilliant. Okay.
It's in a good way, I guess. I mean, but yeah, it's got that sort of old school tough feel to it, if you know what I mean. But good stuff. Any others that you want to add to that removable, my friend?
You played Speed Limit and you suck at fucking.
Yeah, no, it's weird. That's a weird little link. That is funny. Definitely. They should package them together.
Going on there.
Yeah, definitely. So this is Ghost of a Tower. You've been watching for the last few minutes, by the way, guys. Like I say, finally, like I just want to mention, shout out, Curse of the Dead Gods, which is a really, really cool looking game. I highly recommend you looking that up. It is essentially, I mean, I don't want to just say, it sounds a bit bad just to say this, but it's very much like Hades. If you're looking for,
I was about to say, I've seen the trailers for it, and I'm like, I originally got confused. I thought this is Hades, and it's like, no, it's not Hades. It is different. And as you said, you don't want to target or deviate from them, because it is their own art style.
Exactly, it definitely is their own thing.
It is, yeah.
But it's got that vibe. It's a roguelike, so roguelike dungeon crawler. And it's the same vibe to it essentially. I was just going to say, if I've heard so many people wanting Hades, just get a PC, would you? No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. For the people who have got Xbox only, get your kick of Curse of the Dead Gods on the 23rd of this month, I believe, or somewhere around that.
So. Yeah, so line. It is. Yeah, it's worth it if you're looking for Hades similar that would be the one to go for.
It's not just a copycat of that either. They've definitely got their own game going on there. It's a really cool game, very nice feel to it, and nice leveling system. I've been watching people play it a bit. It's been in early access for a while, you see, so that's the similar sort of path that Hades took as well, which is awesome. And you know how much I love Hades, which I still have a lot to do in Hades. I've been kind of holding back on it. I've been holding back because I wanted to stream it, so I was just finding the right time. So I'm thinking actually I'm going to get back into it and stream Hades, and because like I said, I've been holding back. There's a lot to do, like I say, in that game, so I want to do it on the stream, so that'll be fun, I think, and then you can watch me get punished. But I thought I'd give it a try anyway. But I love that game. But so some cool games coming out, definitely. I mean, Little Nightmares, as I say, and Curse of the Dead Gods, they're two great picks, I think, from me, but other guys definitely awesome picks there too. So what time are we at here? Probably need to wind up, don't we? I'm guessing. Let's just do a really quick final topic. I just want to hit you guys. This is going to be a sort of hot, if you've got time, that is, just a hot sort of like answer. We don't need to go into any details. I kind of want to go for this last one. Let's hit you with... this is quite a hard one to answer simply, but I think you'll feel good. I'd like to know your best indie game of all time, your most anticipated upcoming indie game, and a shout out indie game which is a hidden gem that you'd like to recommend people check out. If you can get
Jesus Christ.
They're off the tongue for me.
Well, we don't. Yeah, for you.
You don't need to explain yours. You don't need to explain yourself. All you need to do is just hit those three answers, and we're good.
Tough.
If it's tough, that's no problem. Just do it. Okay, if you don't want to go with that, then we can just go with a recommendation that there's a hidden gem that people haven't checked out enough.
Let's do it. The first one was the greatest. Apologies for the fire department.
No problem. They put it on the fire.
So I was going to say,
Let's talk about this topic.
The first was going to be my of all time.
Yeah,
right?
well, your best indie game of all time, I guess you would say, yeah.
Yeah, so I gotta go. Well, I mentioned earlier. Eric Chahi is a legend to me, and I think the game Another World definitely made me appreciate indies. You know, it was just I'll never forget the game. Graphically, it was ahead of its time, and
on Sega, right? Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis.
I remember playing it. Yeah, that was one of my first games on Sega Genesis.
Yeah, you had your alien friend and Max.
Yeah.
When he did the little saying to you, and you just form that relationship, and you're just in this weird world trying to figure out what's going on, and you're captured. Great game. So Another World would definitely be the reason why I got into indie games, especially. That game was amazing. When I found out it was made by one person on I think the Amiga or something, and then it was eventually ported to Genesis and Super Nintendo, that game transformed me. Now the second one you said that was the greatest of all time. Then you said, what's the second question?
Yeah, your most anticipated indie game that's upcoming.
Ooh, upcoming. I got my eye on Song of Iron. I know you guys have been covering it a lot, and I've been I'm very curious to see where that goes. It reminds me of a game I played that came out. It was co-op, though. It was called Wolverblade.
Oh, nice.
And
okay.
I loved Wolverblade, and that was more of a co-op kind of Viking kind of thing. But this one, obviously the engine and Song of Iron looks way more advanced, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. So I've been paying attention to you guys when you guys get the coverage from Joe.
Nice.
And,
thank you very much for that.
So you get your plug there.
Thank you, sir.
The one that I recommend. I'll probably recommend. Actually, I'm a cheat. There's another game that I'm looking forward to too. I forgot about. That is I covered it at PAX. It was a fun story because I was very busy. I was going around. We had just got media that year, and the developer pulled me to the side. Was like, "Hey, can you come check out our game?" So nice. I'm like, "Okay, look, I want to be respectful, but I have a lot of appointments." But I did come back, and it was probably one of the best experiences. The game was called Playland. It has not come out yet. I'm still holding hope. If you're a fan of what is it? What's the name of the second Zelda that was on NES that was side scrolling? It was after Legend of Zelda. Was it Link to the Past?
Yeah, Link to the Past.
It's giving you Link to the Past vibes, but way more extensive. The art style is amazing. The things you can do in the game are pretty. Yeah, they started a Kickstarter. I believe they reached their goal. It's still coming. It's Phaelan, Faelan. It's one of my first videos. Back then, our video quality was horrible. We had all types of problems. It was pixelated, so I don't have the greatest viewing of the game. But I can point you to the developer, and I always hit them up. Hey, where does it go? You know, hey, I think they changed engines. I think they
I see.
That's why they've been they had to start over, but they're still coming. So yeah, I believe it's a Brazilian team,
right?
And again, huge fan. So Phaelan is definitely anticipated, and then the last one I will give a shout out to is, again, we had him on the show, was it's called Aerial Knights Never Yield, and it's a runner. And I've actually never really played a running style games that are just a runner where you go from left to right and it's avoid obstacles kind of thing.
Yeah, and nice. There's one of them on the Steam Festival as well. Actually, I'm forgetting all of the names. Actually, that is the one. That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes,
bro, that's the one, actually. It's on there at the moment. Never Yield. I remember that. Yeah. Yes. I almost downloaded that last night. Yeah.
Yeah, Aerial Knights Never Yield.
Have you played it at all?
I've got a chance to touch it.
Sweet.
Young African-American developer from Detroit. We've had him on ILP. Very, very passionate. And the music in the game is outstanding.
Nice.
So I am pulling for him, and I want to see how that game goes. So those are my choices.
Yeah, I will download that because it looks really cool. The parkour and stuff, and it's nice.
Yes.
Yeah, different, isn't it? And like looks, I like the feel of it. It's kind of. It looks like it would be a lot like an adrenaline sort of ride, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
But that's a great pick, my friend. I love your picks there. I knew you would come up with the goods. Sorry to throw it on you a little bit. I did put it on about an hour before on the list. I added it to in the DM. A bit late maybe for you to see it. But yeah,
I caught it. I was like, oh man, I got to. The all-time one was tough, but I had to give it to another world. That game changed my life.
Yep. No, that's a good reason, my friend. That game gives me like flashback vibes, not the game flashback.
Flashback was the sequel afterwards.
Oh, was it? Okay, nice.
Yeah, Another World came first, and then Flashback came afterwards. Yes.
Sweet, that's fantastic. Awesome stuff. Okay, let's go. Who's got theirs ready? We'll better ask because he may be preparing yours as we speak, guys. So who is ready for the next one? And who's got 3 answers for me? Is that a yes from Removable?
Jube's ready.
Anyone go for it. Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, so
Jube's up.
My favorite of all time would be Cuphead.
Nice.
Just love the art style. It's hard. It's just amazing. Like, I'll just leave it at that. Like, if you haven't played it, shame on you. You should. Upcoming, of course, is still Tunic. That is hopefully going to be in the same vein of Cuphead as far as just a game that I've just been following since announcement and just waiting for it to drop. And underrated gem, if you haven't played it already, Below. So they did finally introduce a non-survival aspect to that game.
Nice.
So if you don't want to do the
nice, bro.
don't want to deal with management of, like, your hunger and all that shit, there's a mode for that game that lets you really just explore the world and play it. I'd highly recommend it. That was the game that made me buy an Xbox One, even though it didn't come out till years after it came
out.
Yeah, it was a bit of a delay on that, wasn't there? Nice. So they've actually added a new mode in for less intense.
Yeah, there's an adventure mode where you don't have to worry about your hunger or anything. It's just your health, so just don't die, essentially. But you don't gotta eat and drink or anything like that. You can just enjoy the game, enjoy the music, enjoy the ambiance, and just explore to your heart's content.
Nice, that's great. Did we have your hidden? Was that your hidden gem? That one, sorry.
That was my hidden gem. Yep.
So Cuphead is your best indie game of all time, and so your second one was Tunic. Sorry, upcoming indie game Tunic, and then Below is your hidden gem. That is a great trio there, my friend. Fantastic. Yeah, because a lot of people got scared off by that intensity in Below, didn't they? So that may make a few people check it out, actually. But yeah, Cuphead. You like your tough games. Have you beaten Cuphead? Then obviously, if it's your best game of all time, that's a pretty tough game to beat. So nice work. I'll assume you've beaten it.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff, bro. Okay, so I think Removable Sanity is up next. What do you reckon, sir?
Well, the very first, I'd say the best indie game, or the one that's the ultimate element. I can't really say that because every indie game to me every new one is always brings home. What I can replace it with is the indie game I put the most hours in. I'm probably hitting around 300 hours, and that would be around Elite Dangerous.
Ooh.
Okay.
That is a game in itself that supports keyboard and mouse, also supports controller, and for me it was just an eye opener. An absolute eye opener in every form, and I thought this is not going to hold me. And 300 hours later, there's so much more. There's still so much more I can do with that game. So if you, some would say it's a space trucking game. I would say it's not. Trust me, there's a lot in there now they're doing, especially as they're now going up to upgrading a first-person aspect to it. It is a huge game. Don't be put off by it. It is a fantastic game to play, and you will sink hours in it. Once you get locked in, you will sink a lot of hours into this game. Upcoming, I was going to go with Tunic, and now this show's changed that. I'm going to say Dead Play's new game. That has really got me intrigued.
Playdead.
Playdead.
That's a good name as well.
I want to see what that is.
Nice, bro.
I want to see what that is.
Yeah,
because
good stuff.
The screenshots sold me, and I it sold me my intrigue. I want to find out more about that game.
Yeah,
I want to find out as much as I can.
That's a good one.
That just looks, from those screenshots, I'm like, this could be it's got me intrigued. It's got my juices running. I'm like, I want to play it.
I want to touch it. I love it.
I want to hold it.
Just one 2-second go on it.
Just give me the demo. I don't care. Just give me a go. And then you've probably heard about this a few times. My hidden gem. I have said it a couple of times. Haven. It is out on Game Pass. Nice. It is very much it's a story-based game, but it has got it's got a turn-based style.
Turn-based combat. Yeah,
strategy into it. Yeah, it is actually. And the story, I would say, when I say adult, it is as if it's been written by adults for adults. It's got such a well-written story behind it. I was very surprised. I thought it was a gimmick kind of in a way, but as I got more into it, it really opened my eyes into their storytelling. They are very good storytellers, and it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game. I think it's one we actually talked about on your show previously.
Yes, indeed.
I would try it out. Haven. Yeah, please try it out.
Nice. So nice, my friend. So we got Haven as your hidden gem. Elite Dangerous was your top pick. Pick and not topic. And then upcoming is the Playdead game, which is yet to have a title, which is quite interesting. Yeah. Good stuff, my friend. That is fantastic. I thought. No, I didn't think actually. I thought that's probably what I thought. Pretty much what you would say. I was just trying to guess what you were going to say. So Fastback, brother. I am very intrigued to know what you've got to say, my friend.
Don't get that intrigued. And it's hard because I always go back when I think of something that kind of still stays with me, and it's been a while. Is Journey.
Yeah, nice.
I really love playing that. Just really laid back, beautiful game. Surf Explorer, I guess, or just really enjoyed that. Probably my second was probably Edith Finch, I guess.
Nice.
Great game.
Hidden gem, I guess. Carry On.
Yeah,
that's a nice.
It's a great game.
Reverse horror type. It's. I recommend that. Gives you a different perspective.
Nice.
Of the character that you're playing as, and listening to people scream as you chew them up.
Yeah, I love it.
Definitely Tunic is one that I'm really looking forward to. But also, since Jubei said that one, I'm going to go with the Lake.
Okay. Nice.
I'm kind of intrigued with that. I'm kind of hoping. I know it seems kind of like a simple game where you run around, drive around, deliver packages, but you never know. It might be a dead bodies, laying around somewhere to solve mystery. So
you're going to be a carrion beast in there.
Yeah, you're delivering pieces of carrion.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, has anyone actually heard about the 12-minute game yet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That one.
Yeah. We talked about that a few times. Yeah, on the podcast. Actually,
Have we heard any more news about that?
Since they've got the voice actors, that was the last big chunk of news, and they keep posting like little clips. So I would imagine, like I said, with the Ascent, it's on the run. But they did say it was delayed at the end of last year. It was originally going to be 2020 release. At the end of last year, Annapurna said it will be 2021, but they're entering the polishing stages, and that was like at Christmas time. So, we could get that one middle of this year, I reckon. So yeah, definitely looking awesome. Looks really cool game. Is that good? You're going to change your choice, or?
No. I'm definitely looking forward to 12 minutes, but I think you keep bloody putting new things in front of me.
The thing is, there is so many to look forward to for sure. But yeah, that was great. Fastback. You had, I thought Carrier might pop in there somewhere, as I know you love that game. But yeah, that is a really cool, good stuff, guys. I bet a lot of you guys will guess what my best indie game of all time is.
Let me guess. Sixth plug of the day.
Tough one, real tough.
Shovel Knight. No, it's Hollow Knight.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Shovel Knight, not bad either. Hollow Knight for the win, obviously. My best upcoming indie game as well. Guess what that is, guys?
Song of Iron.
No, it's not actually, and I break Joe's heart with that one.
Break Joe's heart.
I've already broken it before. It's definitely up there, Song of Iron. My most anticipated indie game is, you should have guessed this one, Hollow Knight Silk Song, which is coming soon, hopefully. And the hidden gem I would definitely shout out, which I've shouted out before, is called Dark, which is spelled DARQ. And it's on all platforms now, and I'd highly recommend you checking that out. It's got like a really good game, really cool physics puzzles, physics manipulation puzzles, which are really clever, and a really good atmosphere to it. Highly recommend checking out that game. It's a nice price. You get the complete edition now it's on Xbox as well as PlayStation and Switch as well, I believe, but it's been on PC for a little bit longer, but now it's rolled out to the consoles too, so definitely check out Dark. It's a great game, especially if you like.
He's a fantastic guy as well. He's a really lovely guy.
100%, he's fantastic. Yeah, he's done a lot of things, like he's made an ebook for developers. Need to switch that off. Ebook for developers, and so they can get into development themselves. This is his first game. He's also originally he's a composer, so that's where he's sort of like made his career, and now he's sort of spanned off into doing games, and he did the music for Dark as well as the game design, so pretty damn amazing, really. And the music in the game is phenomenal. The last level of the main game is so good as well. It's really tense. There's some clever little puzzles in there which really keep you on edge. I definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, this has been an awesome show, guys. I just want to quickly, before we round things up, I just want to shout out what people have said in the chat, because we've had some good answers from the chat as well. And I really appreciate all of you guys, your answers to that question. Let's see. What's that? It's the first. Yeah, there's another Hollow Knight mention for you, Must Mayhem. Sorry about that. So Must Mayhem said he would have to go with Ori as his probably his best indie game, and then A Juggler's Tale for upcoming, I'm imagining, because it's not out yet, and then Arise, A Simple Story for his hidden gem. Great pick on the Arise, A Simple Story. That is a great hidden gem. I really enjoyed that game. Definitely some good picks there. I would definitely stand behind. And Juggler's Tale is looking great as well. I really enjoyed playing the demo of that. Stubbs is going with What Remains of Edith Finch for every answer, I think. It's just
when
like...
someone said that, I was like, his ears are pricked up, honestly.
Brilliant stuff. I thought you might go with that. I'm surprised Inside didn't pop into your answers, those Stubbs. You've let Lord Cognito down there, my friend.
Nah, he's good. He played it. He's good, man.
Yeah,
that's
true. That's true. I like to bust his chops, as they say. If that's even the right term, I do believe it is. Let's go, Mace.
What Daz would say.
Mace Suko is always a great indie person. He plays a lot of indie games, and he has come up with Thomas Was Alone. And I imagine, is that your best indie game of all time? Wow, that's interesting. That is a really cool game. I really enjoyed it. I really like the narrative, the way is the narration over such a simple sort of concept of the puzzling with the blocks and stuff like that, and there's a narrator over it. You don't see that very often, and I think it works really well in that game. Is that your best? Are you saying that's your best indie game of all time, Meisuko? You've also got Artful Escape for your upcoming, and I stand right by you there, my friend. Looking forward to that game. And Rock of Ages.
That one sounds beautiful too.
Yes, it does indeed. That again is another game which the music is being done by the developer, and that's actually the same story because he used to be a bit of a rock star, the developer of that game, who are called Shakes. What are they called? Dinosaur. What are they called? Dinosaur. I forget what they're called now. Something and Dinosaur is the developer's name. But he used to be in a band, and Rocket Out is Australian, and now he's making a game, and he's also rocking out in the game. So that is a pretty damn cool, because there's a lot of cool rock music in that game. You can definitely tell he loves his rock music. But yes, guys, this has been so awesome. Thank you everyone else who has hung with us in the chat. All you guys are amazing. Massive thank you to everyone who has joined me on the show today. You've all been so awesome, and I knew you would be, but it's been such a pleasure to hang with you guys. Really, really has. So yeah, let's wind things up, I think, out there. So I just want to say thank you firstly to Lord Cognito. What a legend he is. Everyone knew that already. You don't need me to say it. But honestly, I feel absolutely honoured that he's came on the show. I never thought like someone like Lord Cognito would join us. He's from the upper echelon of creators. You know what I'm saying? But it's a pleasure to rub shoulders with you, sir, and hear some awesome takes on indie games. You've really brought some good stuff today, my friend. So thank you very much for coming on, buddy. And where can they find you?
First of all, thank you, Indian. I love being here. Thanks for the invite. This was a great show. Keep up the good work. Keep up the fight for indie games. We need more of this. I love to hear this kind of stuff because to me, I don't classify. You hear, a lot of terms you hear online is fodder or all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I don't classify any of that. A lot of my best experiences and some of the most original and creative experiences come from the indie game scene.
Absolutely.
And I just love that freedom of them, and I will always continue to support. So keep that up, number one.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, you guys know me, Lord Cognito on Twitter, Iron Lord Podcast. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day. Check us out tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. We will be there. We have Laser Corn on. It should be fun. He's a fun content creator. It should be really cool. And yeah, man, I really appreciate the support you guys have been giving to lordsofgaming.net, our website, which is by the fans, run by gamers like yourselves. And it's just really cool to see the support there. But again, thank everyone. The panel was lit. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Jubei, Salute, Fastback, NLG in the building, Removable Sandy. Yes, you need your own podcast because you got a lot of great ideas.
Yeah.
You got a great ideas. And,
Good facts.
Do it, my friend.
He be in his bag, but I do like what he says, man, because he's very passionate, especially what you said about going to these shows and seeing the indie developers in their element, so to speak, in that whole environment. You understand that process very well, and dealing with the indie scene versus the AAA scene, let's just say. But yeah, salute, man. This was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for having me, and definitely do it again for sure.
Awesome, bro. Though that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for those kind words, bro. It means the absolute world. Yeah, no, definitely, it's been a blast. Would love to get you on again at some point down the line if you'd be up for it. Sounds great. Good stuff. Okay, well, yeah. So moving on from there, we will move to my man, Removable Sanity. Been an absolute blast hanging with you again, bro. As we said at the start of the show, was we kicked off the Indie Games Trial podcast, essentially, as we named it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to sort of getting into the first groove and stuff like that, finding out if we can do this thing, and I'm still learning a big time, but it was I'm really grateful for you to for doing that one, and now being back on the show. It is an honor to have you back, buddy, as you always bring awesome indie game passion, which I love. Keep doing that, my friend. And yeah, thanks for coming on again. And where can they find you?
First of all, it's a privilege to be here with you again. It is, honestly, you are a pillar of the community, just like Lord Quigno. Sorry, my brain's going a bit.
No worries.
You are pillars of the community. I kind of a little bit, in awe slightly. Again, thank you for just even letting me on. I always find it just appreciative to be on there. For me, you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, or if you can also follow me on Midweek Gaming as a co-host with Stubbs as well.
Nice.
So,
yes, awesome.
Thank you again for just allowing me here, honestly.
Oh, no, it's an absolute honor to have you here. But honestly, buddy, I love the way you are. Very modest, though. But, you're always welcome. So we will definitely have to get you back on again, buddy. It's always good to hear your takes. And, I love the way definitely people get to his channel. He's an indie game channel, essentially. So if you want more indie goodness, want to branch out your indie goodness, check out his channel, give him a subscribe. He does some great reviews, actually, because those reviews must take quite a bit of work that you do. They're quite thorough. Yes. So yeah, not in a bad way though. You don't.
As anyone who knows content creation, it always takes a long time.
It really does. That's my problem. I would love to do more reviews. It's just the time part of it, and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why I highly respect your reviews, my friend, and keep up those good work with the channel and everything you do, and spreading that indie goodness around the community. Good stuff from everybody. Thanks for coming back on, bro. And yeah, moving on from there, Jubei Sensei, absolute pleasure to have you back, bro. Like I say, you're one of the cool dudes of the community. Always love what you do on VGP podcast. I have to get FC Violent back on once he's back off of his little hiatus, because I love FC as well. He's a great guy. You two guys are awesome. And we keep trying to get on Kofi as well, but Kofi's quite hard to pin down. I think he's the family man, isn't he, a bit? With Jubei.
Kofi got the chirins.
But yeah,
how this man throws hundreds of hours at games with his family life.
Exactly, yeah.
Shouts to Kofi.
Definitely, Kofi Rock Pro. He's one of the coolest guys out there, and FC as well, definitely. But so are you, my friend. You three guys rock big time. And yeah, it's an honor to have you on FC. You're not FC. You're Jubei. Yeah, Jubei, you rock, bro. Thanks so much for coming on. Next time you come on, maybe you'll have your music, and we will put a link for that in the description, etc. But I look forward to hearing all of your music as well as all your gaming stuff. Jubei does have a Twitch channel, but I'm sure he'd love to tell you about that himself. So thanks very much for coming on, Jubei. Where can they find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Jubei Sensei. If you do hit me up on there, shoot me a DM or whatever, I will get you a link to that music before I officially drop it on Spotify, etc. I'm still clearing paperwork and BMI stuff for that, so it's not going to be out on streaming platforms probably for like another week or so, but it's coming.
Nice.
If you want to hear it before that, definitely hit me up. I got you. You can find me on all gaming platforms at Jubei X Sensei. And of course, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jubei Sensei.
Nice.
Awesome, bro. No, fantastic stuff. That was like I say, a pleasure as always, and thanks. You're always welcome on this show, so we'll definitely be getting you back on it if you're up for that, of course.
always, bro. You know it's love.
I love it. Break my heart, but I love it in a good way. It's awesome, bro. There's a great crew of us today. Really, really enjoyed it. And finally, last but not least, my true brother, my indie brother. Always a pleasure hanging with this guy.
Deep rock brother.
Yeah, on this shots we are, on these screens we are. Indeed, we will have to get back into some more deep rock, bro. But yeah, always a pleasure hanging with you, Fuzzbait. You are a very down to earth, awesome guy. And a lot of love for the indie games as well, and it's awesome to have you as a friend, bro. So thank you for being a part of the Indie Games podcast on the regular. It means a lot. And where can they...
I appreciate that, indie brother.
I appreciate you, my friend. I really do. Where can they find you anyway outside of here?
Well, every Thursday night on the Next Level Gaming podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern. And Of course, you can find me on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation. Fastback6768. Definitely this community. We've been, like we played Deep Rock on last weekend. I'm looking forward to play more. I hope with every weekend, see what comes up.
Sounds good.
No, this is great. Jubei and Removal and Lord Cognito. Awesome having you guys on and just getting y'all's indie game perspective. It's always interesting.
Oh yeah, love it.
Most definitely, Fuzzback. Yeah, thank you very much, bro. As I mentioned at the top of the show, this show is now twice a month instead of once a month, which is very exciting. Being able to double up on the indie goodness. I got to cut down on the amount of times I say indie goodness in a podcast. You will count, and there'll be a competition one day. And how many times did I say indie goodness in the podcast, and you win a prize?
As Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight right there. Yeah.
That's always allowed. No, beautiful. No, it's definitely cool to be doing it twice a month. The next show will be on the third Saturday of this month. I'm not too sure on what date that is, but it's always the first and third Saturday of the month, the show. And that'll be with my other sort of brother from the Indie Games team, which is Puxley, and sometimes maybe like Fastback or Coop, if they did want to join for the extra show, they can if they wanted to. But obviously there's no commitment. We're doing Fastback, Coop, myself on the first Saturday of the month, and then on the third Saturday of the month it'll be me and Puxley. But if anyone wanted to join an extra, that's cool. We can discuss that elsewhere though. But yeah, just wanted to say massive thank you to the chat because you've been amazing. We had a great turnout today. I'm honestly blown away by how many we had in and a consistent number of you too. So many great names in that chat. We had Master Mayhem in at the end. Awesome to see you, Master. Always a pleasure. Thanks for coming by, bro. Z Black Rider or Z Black Rider. I will start calling you Z Black Rider now. Great to see you, my friend. I know you love your indies too. It means a lot to be able to see people coming in around this indie. This indie love, that does mean everything to me. But just getting that and sort of sharing it together, that's the whole point of it, really, just to be able to share some games. Check out that game, guys. You check out that game. Okay, cool. I'll check out that. I love that. That's what it's all about, really. So it means a lot to see all of you guys in, and that's what me and VJ did. We had a little chat about Hollow Knight. I'm sorry I've mentioned it again, but it's the case. VJ, I'm seeing him there. Awesome to see you. You're a great friend, VJ, and I love all of our chats. Always interesting and intellectual, but in a good, friendly way, if you know what I mean. We like to share our sort of VJ's making his way through Hollow Knight right now, and I think he's got the vibe that I had when I was playing it, which is just utter amazement basically, and adoration for the game and the game design. So once you get hooked into that, you really, it's just something else. But yeah, keep at it, VJ. I can't wait to hear more about what you're doing in Hollow Knight. Keep DMing me the goodness. And yeah, thanks very much for coming by, VJ. And Stubbs Gaming, always a pleasure to see you in, Stubbs. I cannot wait to do our show, which is on, I think, next Friday. I think this coming Friday, perhaps. I'll have to check the date, what that is. But yep, looking forward to it. Stubbscast with my man Stubbs, always a great friend. Thank you very much for having me on that. I'm looking forward to it. The Living Flame, he said it was a great show and he was happy to be able to catch it live for once. Love you, Indy. Oh, that is very kind. Thank you very much, my friend. Keep up the good work. And one day he's going to try and sneak on the show. Maybe that will happen, my friend. We have to talk about that for sure. Pong Soul is a legend. Great to see you as always, my friend. Thank you very much for coming by and all your awesome support you always give. Meisuko, thank you so much for coming out, my friend. You are awesome as well. Who else did we have in here? Teleagonic, awesome to see you as well, my friend. Always a great support of the channel. Means everything to see you in. Thank you so much for your support as well. Mike from NLG, Mike definitely, and HDK was in. Definitely can't leave those legends out. The Gamers United Guild brothers.
Part of the contract, part of that Gamers United Guild.
Definitely, he's only here because of that. He wouldn't be otherwise. Joking. No, it's awesome to see you, Mike. You're a fantastic guy. One of the nicest people out there, I would say. And obviously HDK, you're a legend too, my friend. But yeah, obviously you're part of with Fastback on the NLG podcast. Definitely check out that show, guys. As Fastback shouted out about a minute ago. Fantastic show. And Nam Omar, I'm not sure I've seen you in before, but thank you so much for coming by. I think you might know Fastback potentially, but thank you so much for coming out tonight.
First time I've seen him.
Oh, okay, not first time. Well, it's great to see you. I hope I've pronounced your name right. Nam Amar. Thank you very much for coming by. And yeah, everyone else, I better wind up the show here. Avish was in too. Thank you so much, Avish, for coming out. You rock big time. And Stubbs has just confirmed that it's the 12th of February for the Stubbs cast, where we're going to talk about some indie goodness.
Oh, no.
There you go. There you go.
You're gonna really get to know who indie really is.
That'll be fun. No, I'm really looking forward to that show. And yeah, thanks for having me for that one. But yeah, this has been legendary. I've had such a fun time. Thank you all for being a part of it. Thank you so much, panel. You were amazing. Thank you so much, chat, for being part of it and making it come alive and feel like a real community as it was. But yeah, we're going to wind things up there, guys. Like I say, we'll be back on the third Saturday of the month for the next Indie Games podcast. I'll be doing a couple of streams potentially over the next few days of some Steam Summer Fest, not Steam Summer Festival, it's not summer. It's still in my idiolect, I think, from last summer. It's Steam Festival goodness, which yeah, I'm going to probably stream a couple more games from that. So keep an eye out for that, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I haven't said that already. You know, if you're an indie games fan and you like staying up to date with all the latest indie games goodness, hit that subscribe bell. And I will endeavour to do my best to keep you up to date on all that goodness. So thank you once again, guys. I will leave you now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You all rock big time. And I look forward to seeing you out there gaming. And catch you later, guys.
Peace.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Nice.
Absolutely.
That was good stuff, man.